How'd it taste?
Hey, I wipe my ass, buddy. I wash my freaking
Gentlemen, welcome to Death Before Dishonor, Part 2. We are here in Chicago, Illinois. Rocky Romero refusing to handshake with Chad Collier. And the date is July 24th, 2004. And Paul Turner just rang for the bell. Death Before Dishonor, Part 2 is underway. Rocky Romero against Chad Collier in the red. I'm Jimmy Bauer, joined by Mark Nolte.
Jimmy, it's great to be here. I can't look at Rocky Romero, I can't look at Julius Smokes at ringside without thinking about what happened and the way they degraded the ROH World Title belt.
You just saw a very sore homicide, and Loki is also at ringside. That was absolutely disgusting what they did last night in Milwaukee at Death Before Dishonor Part 1. Absolutely disgusting. That's the only way it can be called. The way that they disrespected Joe, the belt, everything that ROH stands for, especially Loki. But I don't want to harp on that the whole night. We have a huge show here, back at the Frontier Fieldhouse in Chicago, Illinois. A great crowd on hand. It's Saturday night. It's Death Before Dishonor Part 2. And we got Chad Collier and Rocky Romero in the ring. And this one has a really lot of potential to be a great bout. Collier, he had a big win last night over Danny Daniels. Rocky Romero made Dan Moff tap in a tag. So both men have momentum going into this match. Both men want to go into the contenders ring and challenge for titles. And in order to do that, they need the victory right here.
Yeah, and because each one's coming off a big victory, whoever wins this match can make a definitive case for being in the contenders ring.
I would say they'd almost be a sure bet to get into the contenders ring.
Samoa Joe tonight defending against Colt Cabana, and what a great champion Samoa Joe is. You have to respect the fact that he could have given Cabana a title match anywhere, but is going to concede home ring advantage to Cabana.
And Joe is in rough shape tonight, as is Homicide, after their brutal match last night.
Not only physically, but I think mentally as well. Samoa Joe, he's going to have to erase what happened in his mind. He's got to get that out of his head and put 100% focus on the white-hot Colt Cabana.
As there's a nice takedown by Chad Collier. He comes up with a leg. Collier, of course, wants to set up for the Texas Cloverleaf. That's a move that affects the legs and lower back. That's what got him the victory last night. Rocky Romero, on the other hand, he wants to go for that cross-arm breaker out of the Huna Karana. He's made many men tap to it, including Dan Moff last night.
This is going to be an interesting battle for the tempo of the match here. You've got Collier who can fly. I think Collier would be more at home keeping this on the mat. You've got Romero who can wrestle on the mat, but I think he's more comfortable with a faster-paced match.
Both men are submission experts, so you can expect to see them go for those later on.
Fireman's carry and hooks the arm. Collier, of course, as we've spoken about before, a protege of the great Dean Malenko.
Rocky Romero, he's made an impact in his short time in ROH ever since he and Ricky Reyes exploded on the scene against the Briscoes at Reborn Stage 1 with that great tag team match. And Romero, since that time, has really made his reputation. Ricky Reyes will be returning to ROH on August the 7th as he will rejoin the Rottweilers that night. Of course, we last saw Ricky Reyes at Reborn Completion last week in Elizabeth, New Jersey, as we have a nice back and forth there. And it was that six-man main event in Elizabeth, New Jersey that ended in a shocking fashion when Loki returned to ROH and joined up with the Rottweilers. And look at that cockiness right there by Rocky Romero.
Well, Rocky Romero needs to check that ego in the locker room because Chad Collier can beat you from any position on the mat. Spectacular mat wrestler Collier is.
Chad Collier also has to keep an eye on Loki, Homicide, and Julius Smokes. Three of the most dangerous men going today, and they are all at ringside. And he was trying to hook the cloverleaf right there, wasn't able to turn it over as Romero went to the ropes.
We have something for everybody tonight, don't we? This should be a good wrestling match. I expect a great wrestling match. I'm thrilled to see this match coming up between Austin Aries and Doug Williams.
A lot of great stuff tonight. Death Before Dishonor weekend. It was so big this year we had to do it on 2 nights. And another interesting thing I want to point out about these home releases is, as you might have noticed on last night's home release, and you will on tonight's home release, there are no backstage promos. Oh, and look at that, no clean break by Rocky Romero. And he's going to work on Collier now. But as I was saying, we are keeping everything in the ring this weekend. Give the tapes a different feel, doing something a little different. No backstage promos on Death Before Dishonor weekend as the cockiness of Rocky Romero shines.
Especially as loaded as these cards are talent-wise and wrestling match-wise.
You're talking about with these two home releases, more wrestling and quality wrestling at that. I mean, this is a dream for any wrestling fan.
Yeah, this match is off to a great... You went to the Cliché store last night. I took a visit this morning. This match could be a main event in a lot of arenas in the country.
And it's just your opening match right here. It's Chad Collier now getting the advantage on Rocky Romero.
Greco-Roman backdrop and a beauty by Collier. Hooks the near leg.
Paul Turner with a 2 count.
Collier's so fundamentally sound. And Romero, because he is so explosive, I don't think gets the credit he deserves as being a good technical wrestler.
Romero, he has risen to stardom in New Japan and CMLL in Mexico. He likes to use those strikes, kicks, and submissions. And there's one of them right there. Glancing the chin of Chad Collier, puts him down. Good for a 2 count. And there's that cross-arm breaker.
This is Romero's pet move. Look at Collier though. Look at Collier's trying to lock his hands. If Collier can get his hands locked, he can escape it. But instead he's going to go to the ropes instead.
That's the key. It's
you don't want to roll. Pardon me to cut you off, Jimmy, but you don't want to roll to the floor here.
No, Homicide. He's not quite himself tonight after that beating last night, but he is as dangerous no matter what kind of condition he is.
Well, most animals are the most dangerous when they are wounded.
And you see Homicide a little more subdued tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he won't take Chad Collier's head off if he gets an opportunity for a cheap shot.
Rocky Romero now focusing that attack on the arm. Rocky Romero, he really needs a big singles win here as he is quickly establishing himself as a star in ROH. And in order to keep that momentum going, he needs to beat someone the caliber of Chad Collier.
Going back for that armbar. Look at Collier. If he can lock his hands, he can take the pressure off this and escape it.
Collier also trying to turn his body to negate the pressure on his arm right there, trying to keep Romero from really cinching in the hold. And now he's right by the ropes and puts a foot on the ropes, and that's it. Collier, of course, he'd love to get into the title picture and compete for that pure title, whether it's against Aries or Williams after tonight. In order to do that, he needs to get in the contenders ring, and in order to do that, he needs to win this bout.
Rocky Romero has been very crisp here, and I hate to jinx this, but so far there hasn't been any outside interference. This is Rocky Romero's ability on display and Rocky Romero's ability only.
And this is what ROH is supposed to be about, not the interference, so it's great to see a match like this taking place.
Yeah, if Rocky Romero wins this match at this point, he'll only have himself to take credit for it.
There's a go behind. Paul Turner calling for a break. Let's see if we get a clean one. Oh, look at this.
There's the clean break, but Romero wasn't quite paying attention. Belly to back suplex with a high bridge.
Collier almost scored the win right there. I guess you could consider that a minor upset if Collier gets a victory.
Really, I had Collier favored in this match.
And there's a divorce court right there.
I think, I expect Collier to, if this stays one-on-one, now Romero's looking good, but going into this, I thought that if it stayed one-on-one, I like Collier because he's the better mat wrestler.
Collier is definitely capable of defeating anybody. And there's a couple of boots to Romero.
Victory roll. Reverses it.
And a series of reversals, and the end result is Romero getting flung over the top rope.
And Collier's going to baseball slide. Romero moves out of the way. Romero goes for the big kick, moves, clothesline, but Collier does not want to be on the floor, and the dogs are starting to surround him. Here's Julius Smokes, here's Low Key. Collier needs to get in the ring as quickly as he can. Now, I don't even like coming off the ropes with this much company on the outside. Flying cross body and a beauty, hooks the back leg.
Just a 2 count. Collier's looking good though. Oh, Romero lands on his feet.
Standing switch by Collier. Romero off the ropes, drop kick and a beauty by Collier. Chad Collier has brought his A game to Chicago. Brainbuster.
I think he can sense victory. Here it is.
Hooks the near leg. And Romero kicks out. Am I paranoid? Am I overly paranoid about Collier going to the floor at any point?
Oh, not at all. Look who you got out there. 3 ruthless, dangerous individuals with no mercy whatsoever.
Double underhook by Collier, reverses it by Romero.
And there it is.
Rolls into the Fujiwara armbar.
And Collier trying to get to the ropes. That's his only chance at this point. He is in a world of pain. The agony racing through the arm of Chad Collier. Can he hang on?
This is textbook. And he's got to... No, he does. He gets to the ropes.
He struggled and he finally got to the ropes. He persevered.
But how much did that take out of him?
Oh,
and look at Rocky Romero. Brutal kick to the arm. This time he catches the leg, traps the leg. Collier rolls through. Romero now rolls through, looking for the clover leaf.
If he turns it over, he's got it. Romero fighting for his life, and Collier turned it over. And this crowd's loving it. They want to see Rocky tap. No, he reaches the ropes.
Boy, give Rocky Romero a lot of credit. That shows a lot of heart to fight through that pain and get to the ropes.
Right now, this match is even. Anybody can take it. As there's Collier now going right to work on the legs. Very similar to Romero before, going right to work on the arm.
Boy, what a way to get a show started, huh? Collier off the ropes. Romero ducks. Romero comes up, Hurricanrana.
And he's got it.
Romero can catch that armbar from just about any position.
And Collier's scrambling, he's struggling. Can he reach the ropes? No! He taps!
Great victory by Rocky Romero.
Paul Turner, seeing Chad Collier taps. Rocky Romero is headed into the contenders ring. The Rottweilers are 1-0 tonight. Match on our hands as a result of what happened last time in Chicago at Reborn Stage 2. It was before Generation Next was formed. It was before Alex Shelley wreaked havoc all over ROH as part of Generation Next. At that time, he was teaming with Jimmy Jacobs, and they were in a tag team scramble on that night. Jacobs lost the fall. As a result, Shelley disowned Jacobs, and not only disowned him, but insulted him by kicking him down. Now Jacobs wants to prove he's the better man in the same ring, the same town where that incident occurred.
A lot of fans are going to look at this match and think that Alex Shelley is the favorite. Well, and he is the favorite, that's why they think. But can I pull out a Keith Jackson scent?
Go right ahead, Mark Holton.
I'm a big college football fan, as you know, Jimmy, and it doesn't matter if Auburn is 3-7 and Alabama's 10-0. When the two teams meet, as Keith Jackson would say, you could throw the records out. When you have two people with the rivalry that Shelley and Jacobs have, and intensity of that rivalry that Jacobs and Shelley have, easy for me to say, you can throw the records right out the window.
You're right about that, especially since Jimmy Jacobs, he's got something to prove in this one. This is also the second meeting between Jacobs and Shelley in a singles match. They did have a match under much more friendlier circumstances on January 29th in Baltimore, and in that match Alex Shelley won. So Shelley is 1-0 against Jimmy Jacobs, and now is the last stand show. In fact, they stole the show, having what many people consider the best match on the show. So let's see if they can follow it up here. Something else I have to note is that Loki cut a promo after that Rocky Romero match that we're not going to put on this home release. It's absolutely disgusting. It was about, the stuff that just came out of his mouth was unreal. We'll talk about that more during the Low-Key match later on tonight. But
let me point out something if I can, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
Even when Generation Next doesn't actually interfere in the match, we saw earlier that Roderick Strong took a half-hearted swipe at Jimmy Jacobs' boot. Just the distraction they provide gives Alex Shelley such an advantage.
Generation Next loves to play that numbers game. They're always playing the numbers game. In fact, at ringside right now, you have Roderick Strong and Jack Evans. I guess as there's a nice submission, Jimmy Jacobs quickly to the ropes.
A variation of the cloverleaf.
Noticeable by his absence is Austin Aries, who is set to take on Doug Williams in I think it's the next match maybe. So Austin Aries is probably preparing for that match right now, but you do have to keep an eye on Roderick Strong and Jack Evans at ringside here.
And just the mental distraction sometimes. If you just take your eye off the ball for just a second, especially against somebody as talented as Alex Shelley. Now Shelley offering up the Greco-Roman knuckle lock.
But Generation Next did have the numbers game last night. Again, they were trying to play it against John Walters, Jimmy Jacobs, a Matt Striker, and a six-man, as they had Alex Shelley at ringside, and none other than Ricky the Dragon Steamboat even the score. Of course, Steamboat, he almost fell victim to Generation Next in New Jersey last week at Reborn Completion. Generation Next tried to make their name by beating down Steamboat. They were doing it for no other reason than to try to increase their worth here in ROH, increase their reputation, and in the end they were thwarted by CM Punk. Punk surprising and shocking everybody when he came to the aid of Steamboat. That was something else to witness.
Does Generation Next want to really make a name for themselves? You know how they can do it?
By winning matches fairly?
Winning a title!
Well,
I have never seen so much hype for guys that have yet to win a championship.
They are all about taking shortcuts. That's why they tried to do it by beating down Ricky Steamboat to make their name. That's why they tried to do it against Baron Von Raschke last night in Milwaukee in a nice little... We were trying to honor Baron Von Raschke, who was a legend in Milwaukee, and they ruined that until, once again, the Second City Saints made the save.
I'm going to correct you there, Jimmy. Baron Von Raschke was a legend.
That's right. He's got quite a reputation. He's had quite a career. Generation Next tried to take that reputation. They tried to use that reputation to increase their own name.
What makes this such a special challenge for Alex Shelley is nobody knows Shelley better than Jimmy Jacobs. When you team with somebody, when you train with somebody, you know all their strengths, all their weaknesses, you know all their tendencies. And Shelley, of course, knows that about Jacobs. But Jacobs is able to counter Shelley better than anybody else that Shelley's going to be able to wrestle.
Shelley and Jacobs, they had a very memorable match as a tag team at Empire State Showdown in what many consider the best tag team scramble ever. So they are very familiar with each other. They do know how to work. Then they do know each other's strengths and weaknesses.
By Jacobs. Again, counter wrestling by Jacobs. I can't figure out sometimes if Jacobs is paying homage to Wizard Rose with the boots or Chief J Strongbow with the rain dance.
Us.
Yeah, but his rain dance doesn't look like Brody, it looks like Chief J Strongbow.
I got one thing to say. Us.
Now Alex Shelley doesn't have much to say right now either, as he's just going to catapult Jacobs all the way to the guardrail.
Jacobs tasting that steel right there.
Alex Shelley not content to wrestle here. Shelley wants to turn this into a brawl on the floor. And hovering, of course, is Strong and Evans.
Shelley needs a win here in a bad way, too, as he lost to Doug Williams in a pure title match last night, an excellent bout. but Shelley on the losing end nonetheless. He can't afford to lose 2 in a row.
Actually, this would be 3 in a row, but right?
You're right. He lost to Doug Williams the previous week in the initial Pure Wrestling title match.
Figure 4 head scissors now by Shelley. And this is what I like about this move. Not only does it put pressure on the neck, but it also cuts off the wind and the blood supply to the head.
Shelley just hammering Jacobs repeatedly into the mat. And Shelley does seem to be working the neck of Jimmy Jacobs. And of course, you know what that sets up for, the Border City stretch.
Well, Jimmy Jacobs, when you have a physique like Jimmy Jacobs, you don't absorb punishment as well as somebody like a Doug Williams. So Jimmy Jacobs has a lot of heart that he keeps getting in the ring to the guys he gets in the ring with and takes some of these beatings he has to.
Heart is the right word to describe Jimmy Jacobs. He is all heart and courage. He proved that by taking that beating in that 6-man last night.
Nice snap suplex and float over by Shelley.
Jimmy Jacobs, he likes to go for that big senton. He also likes to go for the contra code, which is a version of slice straight number 2. So Shelley has to watch out for that. He can hit the contra code at any time. And there's a drop hold. Jimmy Jacobs finally beginning to mount some offense, trying to get this crowd behind him in Chicago.
I think the first thing Jimmy Jacobs needs to do is clear those cobwebs in his head. Double stomp to the back, and that just drives Shelley's head into the button. Roderick Strong, Jack Evans, still hovering.
They are right there encouraging Shelley on.
Well, and they may do more than encourage if the referee turns his back at the right moment.
You always have to keep your eye on him. Gary Moore definitely has to keep that in mind. And there's a reversal by Shelley. Oh, knee across the back of the neck from an elevated position.
Alex Shelley, just so technically sound.
And now is another blow to the neck, too. Alex Shelley has so many innovative and unique moves, and they're all effective. It's not innovation for the sake of innovation. It's innovation for effectiveness.
Leg drop by Shelley, the cover. You know, if you want to try to punish him by driving your forearm across the face, that's okay. But I think you're better off if you hook a leg there.
Real quick, we have a new code of honor here in ROH. I got to go through it very briefly as Shelley slingslots in with an elbow. There are now 3 laws of honor in the new code of honor. If you're a man of respect, a man of integrity, a man of good moral character, you will follow the code of honor. It is not a requirement anymore. Instead, it measures what kind of person you are. And the 3 laws are: keep the playing field level. That means no outside interference, no shenanigans, no foreign objects. As now we see Jacobs making a comeback there. The second one is shake hands with your opponent before and after the match. If you have respect for your opponent in the match you're going to have against them, you will shake hands. And finally, respect the officials and do not harm or touch them. As the crowd showing their support for Jimmy Jacobs right now.
Code of honor is the reason why you have matches for caliber here, where you have guys deciding it, for the most part, with their own abilities in the ring.
It promotes the best athletic wrestling going today. That is the purpose of the Code of Honor. As we have a back and forth with Shelley and Jacobs.
And these are 2 guys that have just despised each other, have such intense hard feelings toward one another.
It's been building up since April 24th.
Nice bulldog by Jacobs. Jacobs starting to feel it more than anybody else on the ROH roster. If Jacobs had a chance of beating Samoa Joe or beating Alex Shelley, I think he'd rather beat Alex Shelley.
Oh, drives that knee to the back of the head. Jacobs, there it is. Gary Moore with just a 2 count.
Now Jimmy Jacobs, I'm not sure I like taking this much time to go to the top rope. And sure it's taking him a long time to mount those ropes as well.
He connects with a big tomahawk chop. Rolls over Shelley. Notice how often Jimmy Jacobs is going to the pinfall. Of course, you should always go for the pinfall. You're not getting paid by the hour, but you can tell that Jimmy Jacobs yearns. He thirsts for that win over Alex Shelley.
Driving headbutt to the ear. Jacobs goes for the flying cross body. Shelley catches him midair.
Oh, dumps him face first. Beautifully done, and there's a cover.
Jimmy Jacobs, I keep coming back to this. There's no other wrestler on the roster that he wants to beat more than Alex Shelley.
Oh, Shelley was trying to go for that brainbuster with the legs crossed. Jacobs now, knee to the back of the neck. Another knee. A third one. One more time.
Now Jacobs, as he has the whole match, rolls over as quickly as he can for the cover, but he's taken so much punishment. And now, I think he's injured his own knee. I think those 4 straight cross-arm backbreakers injured his own knee as much as they injured Shelley.
Jacobs trying to shake it off.
Oh, this may not be the move if you're having problems with your knee.
Oh, there's a big Bruiser Brody boot blocked by Alex Shelley. No, Shelley blocks that. Going for the shell shock. Jacobs blocks it. And Jacobs hits Shelley with his own move. The shell shock. This could be it.
What an incredible effort by Jimmy Jacobs.
And the crowd showing their appreciation for both men. All those faces glued on the ring, intent on this action.
This is a championship match for Jimmy Jacobs, and the title is his pride and respect. And he's trying to earn it from Alex Shelley.
Contra code. No, Shelley blocks it.
Cross-leg brainbuster by Shelley. Hooks the back leg, and no!
Somehow Jimmy Jacobs kicks out.
I'm going for my home run call there. Oh, what a great effort by Jimmy Jacobs.
This man is all heart and courage. You have to respect that. As Shelley drives him into the corner. This match is getting a little on the long side now. Both men have to be getting worn down.
Well, and Alex Shelley, I don't think he anticipated just how much Jacobs wanted this match and how much it meant to him.
Jacobs with the flurry of headbutts. Down goes Shelley. What's Jacobs gonna do here? Huge senton.
And listen to this crowd. This crowd is solidly behind Jimmy Jacobs.
I think they all thought that was it.
I don't know if Jimmy Jacobs has earned Alex Shelley's respect, but I guarantee you he's earned this crowd of Chicago's respect. How can you not root for Jimmy Jacobs with what Alex Shelley has done to him and how hard Jimmy Jacobs has been wrestling?
Contra code. Oh, Shelley shoots him off. Misses the boot. Right on the back of the neck. Turns it over. Border City stretch. He's got it cinched in. And Jacobs is on the wrong side. He's not even close to the ropes. Can he hang on? How much heart does he have?
He's fighting it. Yeah, it's just too much. But what an incredible effort by Jimmy Jacobs.
Alex Shelley gets back on the winning track. Jimmy Jacobs does not get satisfaction, and it's another win for Generation Next.
I think he got some satisfaction. What just a wonderful effort on Jacobs' part.
What's Shelley doing with the mic?
Hopefully he's going to give Jimmy Jacobs credit.
You know what, Jimmy? You and I, we wrestled each other a lot of times, and I'll be goddamned if that wasn't one of the toughest. But the fact of the matter remains, I still carry you like a damn backpack.
That's unnecessary.
You've always been in my shadow. You've always been a thorn in my side. So we're gonna do exactly what we did last week to Ricky Steamboat until CM Punk came out. We're gonna do exactly what we were going to do last night to the Baron until the Saints came out. We are going to put you out of your misery. Get it?
Oh, are you kidding me?
This is just disgusting.
This is deplorable.
This is every bit as disgusting as what we accused the Rottweilers of. Jimmy Jacobs, a wonderful effort. Can't you just accept the fact that Jimmy Jacobs had a
Hold
great...
on. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's making his way to the ring. Generation Next wisely backing off. The legend is here. Steamboat's not going to sit in the back and just watch that. The Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time. And he's about to speak to Generation Next.
You know something, guys, ever since I started working with this company, from Minneapolis, New Jersey, Boston, Philadelphia, all around and up and down the East Coast, you go around talking about how you beat up so-and-so, how you take out so-and-so, you do it time and time again, you do it in every damn city that you go into, and the only reason that I see that you're able to do it is that it's always been like 2 against 1, 3 against 2, 4 against 3, it's always been the number. Hey, who cares? Who cares? Well, let me tell you something, the Dragon cares, because right here in the middle, you don't need that white stocking cap. How's your phone doing tonight? Let me tell you something. I've got 2 guys waiting behind the curtain that are going to make me on any time. Hold on up, guys!
And Steamboat's going to even the score again. Here comes John Walters and Matt Stryker.
And Jack Evans, I was about to say Jack Evans barely escaped, but he does not escape. Oh, it's some payback time for Walters and Stryker. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy either.
They are cleaning house. Here comes Roderick Strong. Oh, he catches. No, Walters blocks him. Oh, double knees to the chin.
European forearm, uppercut into the drop kick. Well, Ricky Steamboat found the right 2 guys.
We saw what happened last night, and it's a continuation right here in Chicago. Walters and Stryker cleaning house. Out goes Jack Evans, and I think we have an impromptu tag team match on our hands.
We have a referee, we have action.
We have Matt Stryker and there's Roderick Strong. It's going to be Stryker and Walters with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in their corner against Roderick Strong and Jack Evans.
Well, Jimmy, you said this is a continuation from last night, but the truth is this is continuation from a few weeks back as well.
Generation Next, they bloodied John Walters at Survival of the Fittest. They bloodied Matt Stryker at World Title Classic. There's been one battle after another between these men, and now it continues in Chicago.
And this is something the Generation Next doesn't really like to be involved in, a fair fight. 2-on-2 tag match, Steamboat and Walters in Stryker corner to counter any outside interference from Shelley.
Yeah, it looks like Shelley is staying on the outside. Jimmy Jacobs taken to the back. To see, maybe perhaps he needs to see the trainer after that beating he took, because he was stretched all over the place. And now, what's this? Roderick Strong with Walters. Oh, double knees to the ribs in midsection. And that'll put the Generation Next team at an advantage.
Come on, John, come on, baby!
Well, it's interesting to see how they're going to react to a fair fight, especially against Walters and Stryker. You know, Walters and Stryker aren't getting mentioned when you talk about good tag teams, but the more you see them as a combination, the more you like them.
They proved that last night. They worked great together as a team along with Jimmy Jacobs in winning that 6-man, but which also happened to be the first tag team match that Generation Next has lost here in ROH.
If Walters and Stryker win this match, there's going to come a point where you have to start talking about them getting a title shot against Punk and Cabana.
And you know Generation Next, they want that title shot.
Boom!
As much as I don't like Jack Evans, I'll give him all the credit in the world. This guy's the top high flyer in the wrestling business right now. Yes, that's saying a lot, but it's also true. No one can do what this guy does.
And now it's going to be some double team time for Generation Next.
What's this? Whoa! Never seen anything like that before. Stryker breaks it up.
Wheelbarrow moonsault?
I don't even know what to call that. I'll admit that. I have no idea.
Here's Roderick Strong in the ring.
Strong and Jack Evans, they looked awesome last week at Reborn Completion against Special K as a tag team, pulling off one of the most incredible double teams I've ever seen in my life. Let's see if they can repeat it here tonight. Keep that momentum going.
Double underhook suplex by Strong.
They almost need the win here to get the momentum back in Generation Next favor after last night.
Well, yeah, because you're right. You're looking at a situation where they lost the tag match and Shelley lost his challenge for the Pure Wrestling title.
And did you see Roderick Strong spit on Ricky Steamboat?
Yeah, but I know it's hard to be a critical of a legend, but Ricky Steamboat's got to be smarter than this, especially somebody this experienced.
He definitely lost his cool there. Roderick Strong getting into the head of the dragon. Strong driving those shoulders into the midsection of John Walters. Oh, does anyone chop harder?
I'm thinking about that. Samoa Joe.
Roderick Strong is just brutal with those chops. And he follows it up with a textbook vertical suplex, and he's
all the blood rushing to the head of Walters. And look how strong Strong is, no pun intended, to be able to control a 210-pound man for that length of time. Now he's going to tag out, probably exhausted after holding that suplex for so long.
Well, that's what tag team wrestling's all about. You can exert yourself and then take a breather. Let's see what Jack Evans can follow up with. Lance Walters knee first. Kind of a version of the gourd buster there, but not quite the effectiveness.
Evans isn't quick, he's sudden. Cartwheel elbow, and the momentum takes Evans all the way to the floor. Is that going to give Walters a chance to tag? How fast is Evans to get back in the ring to keep Walters out of the corner?
Lightning fast. And look at Matt Stryker, he can't wait to get in there.
How much ground did he cover in half a second to come from the guardrail back into the ring to the Walters Stryker corner to block the tag? Tag back to Strong. Well, Steamboat laid out the challenge, but so far it's been all Strong and Evans here.
They have been dominating. Oh, vicious kick. John Walters needs to get out of there. He needs the tag to the fresh Matt Stryker. This looks like Roderick Strong's looking for a submission right here, perhaps a surfboard. Oh, instead he just plants Walters face first on the canvas.
Well, that's how you break somebody's nose.
And you always have to be careful of Alex Shelley at ringside.
Well, this is interesting. He's just going to keep smashing Walters face first into the mat. Now he'll go for the surfboard.
And look how he has Walters' hand hooked, allowing him to take the chin. Oh!
And that's going to take the wind out of Walters' lungs, covered by Strong.
And Matt Stryker, it's a good thing he made the save, because that might have been it.
Yeah, Strong saw that one coming. Just couldn't quite get out of the way of the time. Tag in, Strong out, Evans in.
Come on, Strong, you're out. Strong, you're out. We're gonna have a double team here. Go! And they each get a knee.
Desperation move by Walters hits. Now he's got to figure out a way to get to the corner to Matt Stryker. I'm not even sure he knows where the corner is at this point. Crawling in the right direction.
He just has to reach up, can he? Yes, he gets the tag. Here comes Stryker. The freshman's in. Oh, he twists Evans around and takes Strong off his feet. Matt Stryker wants revenge, and he's getting it right now.
Stryker with the presence of mind still to go for the cover and not just mete out punishment. Power slam. Hooks that back leg.
Another 2 count. Stryker's gonna maybe go for that Death Valley driver or the Stryker lock. Those are the keys to victory for him. There's press. And he's just pummeling the face of Jack Evans. Evans, too quick, moves out of the way.
Yeah, you really can't hit anything on Evans that you need to set up.
And what's this? This could be like last week in New Jersey. 2 count. Absolutely incredible move by Jack Evans.
There's another move I don't know how to describe. If we have replay, I'll try to figure it out on the replay.
It reminds me of that great finish from the British Bulldogs, but it was taken to the next level there.
I think Strong was tagged back in.
Yeah, I believe he was, and here he is. Quickly disposed of by Stryker. And now Walters is tagged in. Oh, Strong gets one of those steamboat chops. And there's those big double knees from an elevated position.
Walter's knee is hurt though. He's slow in making the cover. No, Strong. Yeah, and
Gary Moore is not counting the tag.
well, this is the correct call. This is the correct call by the referee. It's not the legal man.
And look at this. That's the submission that Jack Evans tapped to last night, and we have a Stryker lock. And there's Shelley. And just like last night, Steamboat's going to keep him from interfering. Steamboat once again keeping Alex Shelley from interfering.
Well, Shelley still got his shot in though. Broke up the Stryker lock.
Yeah, but Jack Evans is still in that submission. Steamboat chasing Shelley down the aisleway, and Shelley's about to get an ass kicking from the Dragon. No, there's Aries. Generation Next set up Steamboat this time. They learned their lesson from last night.
Here comes Matt Stryker to help out Steamboat. Steamboat getting doubled by Aries and Shelley. And in the ring, Roderick Strong. Elbow leg drop combination.
That'll break up that submission that Walters had on Evans.
Yeah, Roderick Strong picks him up.
Walters is at a 2-on-1 disadvantage in the ring as we have a brawl in the aisleway. Both men jockeying for position. Strong has him. Stryker now, maybe he's got to get back into the ring. Spinal shock. Evans kicks Stryker, cover.
And Generation Next is going to steal one.
As Aries and Shelley beat Steamboat back to the locker room, Jack Evans and Roderick Strong are your winners. It's time for 6-man mayhem, the craziest match going today. 6 participants, no tags needed. The first ball wins it. We have Trent Acid, who claims he's the king of the multi-person matches, and he proved that last night by winning a 4-corner survival. Delirious, does he have a lizard face? I don't know. Matt Seidel, Sean Dabari, Danny Daniels, and making his return to ROH. He was known as Miyamoto before at Final Battle 2003, and he is now the Great Kazushi.
What is it with you and the lizard face guy? You're the one that watches those Ripley shows all the time, aren't you?
I just hear that the guy's got a lizard face. I mean, it's really odd that he's wearing his mask at all times.
He doesn't make fun of the way you look.
Hey, I'm not making fun of it. Nothing matter to have a lizard face.
You just look at... If there was a carnival and you thought a bearded lady was there, you'd go with it.
Oh, I'd be the first guy in line. I love the carnies. As there you have, it's delirious.
He's busy, kids, aren't he?
There you got Danny Daniels in there with Delirious. Of course, Daniels, he tried to make his name as part of the new and improved Carnage crew with Masada, and they pretty much got their ass whooped by Logan DeVito, the Carnage crew, at last week in New Jersey, including that brutal finish where Daniels got killed in that garbage can that was smacked with those baseball bats. That's something that no one will forget if you saw it.
Yeah, that may be something that long-term actually works to Daniels in college. I know that kind of sounds bizarre to say, but if Daniels is going to go back to wrestling, last night we saw him have a great match against Chad Collier, terrific. I think this is what Daniels is more comfortable doing, being a wrestler as opposed to trying to be a tough guy.
No one's comfortable with Delirious acting like that. He's always talking in tongues. Very odd individual, and he's taking it to Danny Daniels right now. Daniels needs a win. Delirious, he lost last night, so he needs a win in a big way. If you lose too many matches, you're going to lose your job here in ROH, and that's just a plain fact. A lot of guys with something to prove in this one. Trent Acid, he wants to back up his claim. He's been in the multi-person matches. The Great Kazushi, he's looking to earn a spot here as he tags in. Same with Sean Devarius. He wants to earn a full-time job here in ROH. Ref Hansen's going to have his hands full in six-man mayhem.
So what were Mr. and Mrs. Kazushi thinking when they named their child Gray?
I guess they thought he was great.
I guess it's better than naming him Apple.
Maybe he just watched too many great Buddha matches as a kid, or great Kabuki matches. Whoa! Where'd that come from, Mark Nolte?
I don't know.
You hung out with great Kabuki, you must know.
I know I don't want to get sprayed with that mist.
Oh, and Davari mocking Kazushi, spitting his gum at him.
You know, I think that's kind of like showing up for a gunfight with a knife.
As we got a nice lockup right there.
Because now that all the expectorants are gone, we can actually have a wrestling.
Six-man mayhem, so you're not really going to see much of a wrestling match. What you're going to see is total non-stop action. Excuse the pun, I didn't mean that. But you're going to see tons of action in this one.
The attorneys are on lines.
Oh!
Davari trying to catch him in a pinning combination. Kazushi with the reversal. Now Kazushi's going to go out. Here's going to come Trent Acid. Trent Acid's got the most to lose here. Because Trent Acid is the one that has claimed he is the master of the multi-person match. Or the multi-person.
And Matt Seidel soars into the ring, gets a 2 count on Acid. And with Acid's win last night, if he scores a win here and gets 2 in a row, that might just sneak him into the contenders ring.
Oh, somebody just got laid out.
Acid, he might be going for that beautiful Asai moonsault. There he goes. Oh, and Davari slams him hard into the guardrail.
That's a good way to blow out a knee.
Matt Seidel blocks Danny Daniels from hitting that move and connects with that heel kick.
Now, I'm glad Matt Seidel hit the heel kick, but he might want to follow up on that here.
You're right about that because Danny Daniels catches him and drops him down.
Here's Delirious from behind.
Delirious now has Danny Daniels hooked. Daniels tries to get out of it. Yes, he does.
Oh, now Danny Daniels is a pinball. Seidel.
Oh!
Boy, Seidel, you're talking about great ring positioning, using Delirious as a weapon. Here comes Davari back in, go behind by Delirious.
And he just flung Seidel into a kick, didn't quite connect on Delirious, but enough so to send Delirious to the floor.
Well, this is what you were talking about earlier. You got to get two people, one's favoring their wrist, one's favoring their ankle.
Oh, and now Matt Seidel is going to be favoring his back.
I think I've seen more moves missed than I've seen hit today. In this match, anyway.
These guys are just going all out. Swinging DDT off the ropes.
This is kind of like the professional wrestling version of a demolition derby, isn't it?
Oh, it's a definite car wreck. Here comes Acid. Delirious cuts him off.
Danny Daniels back in the ring.
And Delirious goes to the floor with a Hurricanrana on Davari.
Daniels modified neck breaker.
Nice snap suplex right there. And we got Kazushi in there with Danny Daniels.
Trading shots. He will not like it. Wanted to go for the stuffed pile driver.
And a reversal. Let's see. No, Danny Daniels reverses it now.
Delirious setting. Wipes them both out with a flying splash.
This match is going at about 150 miles per hour.
I can't imagine this match going much longer at this pace.
It's been fast, but everyone's been taking a beating.
That's what I'm saying. There's going to come a point where somebody's going to finish somebody.
And what's this?
Double sunset flip off the top rope by Trent Acid with this appreciative crowd. Look at the referee. I think the referee's scared to move. He doesn't know which way bodies are going to be flying toward him.
I can't believe no one got killed on that. Those guys might be a non-factor. Acid looks like he's ready to follow up, though. Here comes Delirious. No, Duck. That's not going to have a lot of effect. He's trying to pepper him. Acid just standing there.
Now he's going to pump handle him.
Oh, drops him on his head. That would have been it. Danny Daniels made the save. Delirious trying to revenge the fall that he lost to Acid last night.
Daniels blocks the reverse. Come and bring him up. Stuffed pile driver.
Now he gets it. And there's Kazushi. That's the thing about these six-man mayhems. You have to make sure no one's around when you go for that fall.
Green miss this time.
Is that legal?
Savant kick.
Answer's letting it go.
We need to get a rule to the Ring of Honor about inspections.
Cover. Oh, Seidel almost had it, but there was Davari to make the save.
Seidel and Davari spent a lot of time out on the floor.
I'm losing my breath just trying to call this one.
Davari uses his head as a battering ram on Delirious.
Double Death Valley driver. Wow, we are seeing some absolutely incredible moves in this one. Hold on, Trent Acid has Davari hooked. No, up and over goes Davari. That was the move that won Acid the match last night. Davari blocks the Yakuza kick. Death Valley driver, no. Incredible action. Oh, and Acid gets it. Cover. And that's it. Trent Acid backs up his word.
on the floor. As well, each participant is only allowed 3 rope breaks to end a pin or submission. Once he uses those 3 rope breaks, the ropes become in play. Introducing first the challenger. In the corner to my left, hailing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at a weight of 202 pounds, this is Austin Aries. And his opponent, he is the Ring of Honor Current Champion, hailing from Maidstone, England, at a weight of 235 pounds. This is the torture device, Doug Williams.
It is now time for our pure title match. Can Doug Williams, the champion, make it 2 nights in a row? He is offering the hand to Austin Aries, and Aries hit Williams with a closed fist. The ref didn't see it. He was putting the belt down, and Williams returned the favor, and Todd Sinclair saw that one.
Oh, that's cheap. That's cheap and that's disappointing.
Of course, one of the rules in these pure title matches, no closed fist to the face, and Doug Williams just got a warning. If he hits Austin Aries with another closed fist to the face, that will be a rope break penalty. And if he doesn't, and he's all out of rope breaks, then he is disqualified. And the pure title can't change hands on countouts or disqualifications. So mind games by Austin Aries, and it worked as he baited Doug Williams into using that closed fist right in front of the ref.
I'll tell you what I hate about that, even more than the fact that it was cheap, is Austin Aries. I know we've got the Colt Cabana Samoa Joe match coming up. I know we've got that street fight coming up. But in my mind, this is the match I've been most looking forward to. Austin Aries was already well respected in ROH circles and wrestling circles, but I think he became a superstar with that match that he had in Survival of the Fittest against Bryan Danielson. And I'm so looking forward to this match here. I want it to see it be a great technical wrestling match and not a mind game or a cheap shot fest.
You saw Austin Aries, he was thinking about reaching for the ropes there, then decided better about it, because of course you only have 3 rope breaks in this match. And you mentioned that Survival of the Fittest match. Real quick, I want to note that the rematch has been signed to that. Bryan Danielson versus Austin Aries, August 7th in Philadelphia, and it's going to be 2 out of 3 falls.
If I wasn't broadcasting that match, I would buy a ticket.
And if Austin Aries wins the pure title here, it'll be interesting to see what kind of factor that plays into that match.
Well, will he put the belt up, or will he just give a rematch the same? Well, not under the same circumstances, but just a regular singles match.
We'll have to wait and see, but right now it has been signed. Bryan Danielson versus Austin Aries, 2 out of 3 falls, and there's Aries going to the ropes.
To break a hammerlock?
I think he was a little frustrated trying to reverse it. Maybe he did it out of habit without thinking.
Boy, that didn't look like that hammerlock was that punishing to use up a rope break that way. Look at the smile on Doug Williams' face. Because I think Austin Aries just now figured out what he did.
And one of these things about these matches is that you do have to completely change your strategy. The pure title rules involve a whole different set of strategy that you have to have going into the match.
Because, Jimmy, you're absolutely right, because sometimes you'll take the rope break not because you can't break the hold, but it's just easier to take the rope break than to expend the energy to break a hold by yourself. But here you can't do that. Or if you do it 3 times, then you've given your opponent a huge advantage in the match.
Did you see what Austin Aries just did? That's his second closed fist to the face to the chin of Doug Williams, all behind the ref's back. He says Doug Williams is pulling his hair. When the ref gets behind his back, he's been cheap shot Doug Williams, and Williams just lost his cool. He just hit Austin Aries with a closed fist to the face, and that's a rope break penalty right there.
Doug Williams.
Austin Aries has totally gotten into the mind of Doug Williams, and he made Doug Williams waste a rope break with those closed fists.
I hate to ride the referee, but I question that. If you're going to call, I think if the referee was in a better position, he could have seen what Austin Aries was doing.
Well, Austin Aries was fooling the referee. He was saying Doug Williams was pulling his hair. The ref would go look, and then he cheap shot him. Boy, I mean, Generation Next, they're really pulling some plans and tactics tonight. We saw that earlier with Ricky Steamboat, and now this.
And Austin Aries doesn't need to do any of this job. It's garbage wrestling.
Hey, you know what I just noticed, Mark?
They're conspicuous by their absence.
Yeah, where's the rest? Where's Roderick Strong? Where's Jack Evans? Where's Alex Shelley?
You know, yesterday when this happened, I kind of figured maybe they were embarrassed because the Second City Saints ran them from the ring. But now they're coming off a victory. If anything, you think they'd want to be out here to help gloat.
I don't understand it. Austin Aries is trying to get out of this hold without using a rope break. But yeah, I mean, you notice they weren't at they weren't at ringside last night when Shelley went for the Pure title, and they're not at ringside tonight when Austin Aries is going for the Pure title. And they weren't at ringside when Shelley went for the Pure title against Doug Williams at Reborn Completion last week.
Well, let me give you one contrarian opinion. Just choking on the...
This is totally uncalled for in this kind of match. And you know what else? They weren't at ringside when Austin Aries was in Survival of the Fittest either.
No, they weren't.
Very interesting. I don't know what that's all about.
I have a question about these rules. Why is it that it's a rope break penalty to hit somebody in the face twice, but it's not a penalty to hit somebody, choke somebody with the ropes?
Maybe that's something we have to look into. Good point there.
Boy, Austin Aries is...
Look, he's almost taunting Doug Williams to use a rope break right here by putting his hold on so close to the ropes.
And that would be that would be the second rope break for Williams.
You want your opponents to use all their rope breaks in these kind of matches. So you do see guys putting guys in holds in position to reach the ropes because they want them to use that rope break. Because once you use all your rope breaks, the ropes can't save you from a submission and a pinfall. And not only that, the ropes can be used against you in submissions. A tarantula-like move becomes legal at that point.
You know what? I thought Alex Shelley got distracted by that yesterday. I thought he was so concerned about getting Doug Williams to use the rope breaks that he didn't take advantage of some pinfall opportunities. Just a thought.
Perhaps.
So this can I think this can almost work against you if you're so worried about rope breaks and not worried enough about just scoring the victory.
Austin Aries now has another hold on Doug Williams. He's working a slower pace than he normally does in this Pure title match. Of course, you want to wear down your opponent to where you might be able to get a submission on a certain body part. As Austin Aries, another backbreaker, holding it there, trying to twist the back of Doug Williams across the knee.
So what a knee drop by Austin Aries. And this is the Austin Aries that we saw at Survival of the Fittest against, in my opinion, that was your match of the year so far.
Very well could be. Absolutely awesome. As there you see a simple chin lock. Austin Aries trying to drive that knee and leg into the spine of Doug Williams. Trying to cut off oxygen to Doug Williams. Williams now making his way to his feet. He's not going to have to use a rope break to get out of it. At least it looks that way. Nicely done.
But you can tell Doug Williams in trouble here. Austin Aries so quick to follow up on his advantage. Now it's just going to pummel him in the corner. And again, same thing. If you want to make this pure wrestling, then let's enforce all the rules, not just the close fist rule.
Doug Williams, he is looking to raise the prestige of that Pure title. That's why he wanted to defend it on consecutive nights.
Well, and of course, the pure wrestling title means so much. Look at, here it is. Look at this bridge.
Beautiful Muda lock. And Doug Williams, he's inching towards the ropes. He's thinking about it. Did he see almost reach for the ropes and he thought better of it?
This would be a second rope break if he has to take it. He may not have a choice.
And
now he's reaching for the break.
There it is. 1, 2, 3. Todd Sinclair calling for the break, and Doug Williams has used his second rope break.
Down to that last rope break, Austin Aries, I think he thought he had the match won there. I think he's a little frustrated. Baseball slide sends Williams to the floor.
Austin Aries, he is in the contenders ring now, but he needs to win this match to be a champion, and he might even end up falling out of the contenders ring if he loses. Wow!
Corkscrew plancha over the top rope. Both men hurt. That's one of the things that makes Austin Aries so dangerous. He is willing to sacrifice his own body to mete out punishment.
And there you see the ref administering the count. There's no count out in many ROH matches. You can be DQ'd if you're out there for too long. However, in pure title matches, there's a strict 20 count on the floor. You want to keep the action in the ring in pure title matches. And you think think these guys are aware of the count? You could be forgetful that there's a count in this match.
Well, it's hard to hear the referee over the din of the crowd, and especially when you're trading shots outside.
17!
Williams
That's 17.
Oh, they just barely get in.
Boy, Doug Williams now taking advantage of his size and his power as he just decks him with that forearm.
And Doug Williams got a good shot in on the shoulder and arm of Austin Aries on the ring post out there, too.
Make no mistake, a forearm can be just as devastating as a fist. Look how quick Austin Aries is.
And he gets taken over into the corner.
Doug Williams, how big would this be on his resume? Back-to-back title defenses against Alex Shelley and Austin Aries if he figures out a way to win this.
That's what Doug Williams set out to do. He wants to make the pure title an important belt. He wants to bring it up to the level of the world title, so he insisted to take on the best. And he wanted to do it on consecutive nights on Death Before Dishonor weekend.
Well, and you heard Samoa Joe talk a couple of weeks ago. It was almost disdainful of the pure wrestling title. So that would be an interesting confrontation. Should Williams continue to defend and get a shot? What a knee lift! Williams looks at the far leg.
Only a 2 count. Samoa Joe definitely has an issue with the existence of the pure title. He has since the title's inception, but it seems lately Joe's been too distracted with the Rottweilers to really put the time and effort that he did in the past into the pure title. As there you see Williams a high knee to the arm and shoulder of Austin Aries.
Crotch hold lift, body slam by Williams. Now Williams looking to finish Aries off, mounts the top rope. Flying bombs away.
Once again on that same location on the arm and shoulder.
Now bridges into the hammerlock.
And that bridge just increases the pressure and the torque.
The only thing is Williams needs to be mindful of his own shoulders. Now he's just going to come back up. One of the differences, Jimmy, in college wrestling, amateur wrestling, and professional wrestling, in amateur wrestling, you can't get the hammerlock above a 90-degree angle. In professional wrestling, you can jam it into somebody's left ear if you can get it up that high.
And Austin Aries, as a result, was forced to use his second rope break. We're even at 2 rope breaks apiece. Each man only has 1 rope break left. And as you saw last night, Doug Williams needed that final rope break to save himself from getting pinned.
And when he won the title from Alex Shelley, the fact that Shelley was without rope breaks did play a factor.
That's right. And there's a nice move by Austin. Good for a 2 count. And Austin Aries definitely favoring that arm at this point.
Boy, Doug Williams is just vicious with those forearms. Alex Shelley catches him.
That's why it's called the torture device. And he misses that spinning power elbow. And Doug Williams is getting fired up.
More forearms by Williams.
Hey, watch your ring, come on!
Oh, roaring elbow, but he used that arm and he's feeling the pain as a result, but he's got to cover.
I don't think he could hook that leg nearly as well as he wanted to, favoring that arm.
No, that arm is definitely has a wounded limb there.
But we saw Austin Aries in the match with Danielson survive an incredible amount of punishment and come so close to beating Danielson in, again, I think the match of the year.
And Austin, though, he might tap out to this. He might need to use his last rope break to get out of this hold. Williams just stretching him. He's got that arm. He's got his legs wrapped against him. But look, he doesn't have the legs totally wrapped around Aries as he's given the opportunity to, yes, use that final rope break.
So Aries has used all his rope breaks. Williams has used 2.
Williams a definite advantage now. And look at Aries just clutching that rope. He realizes that he has an injured limb right now, and he has no more rope breaks to help save himself. And Williams goes right on the attack. Todd Sinclair trying to back off Williams to give Aries a chance to get off the ropes, and I don't think Aries wants to let go.
Well, this is where Williams should back off and let the referee force the count and get Aries back in the ring. Hooks him, puts him back up on that top turnbuckle. European forearm uppercut by Williams. See, I don't agree with Williams' strategy here. When you've got that left arm as injured as it is, why would you go up to the top rope? Why not continue to work on the arm on the mat?
Maybe he's going for high impact, or maybe he's going for that as he just drapes the arm down.
I think Doug Williams just answered my question.
Aries having to go to the floor for a breather. He is in a world of pain. The agony is racing up and down his arm. The limb is tender. The joints are susceptible.
And again, we've seen Aries before. We've seen Aries in trouble before.
And Aries signaling for that 450. He puts them all down with that. No. Williams stops him. And Williams climbing up, and this is similar to how he beat Alex Shelley for the title originally. And yes, he's got Aries trapped. No rope breaks. Aries has nowhere to go, and he taps.
What an impressive victory for Doug Williams.
Doug Williams successful in his quest to raise the prestige of the Pure title. We have a Pure champion we can be proud of in the torture device, Doug Williams.
Introducing first, hailing from Laurel, Delaware, this is Mark Briscoe. His opponent, being led to the ring by Julius Strauss and his fellow Rottweilers from Brooklyn, New York. This is
Hey, Smokes, let's go. You gotta get out of here. Stop! Watch your head, Mark. Come ballers, baby.
We have the first of two grudge matches, and Loki already insulting Mark Briscoe, slapping him in the face instead of shaking hands. I never thought I'd see Loki do that. This was the man who made Ring of Honor. He had that legendary series of matches on the first 5 ROH shows that put Ring of Honor on the map. He was the first ROH champion, going 60 minutes to get that belt at crowning the champion, and now he's not even respecting the code of honor, and he's slapping Mark Briscoe in the face. Unbelievable. And I still can't believe those comments he said earlier that we edited off this tape. You people don't need to see them. It was absolutely deplorable. Something about how respect isn't given, it's earned or taught. And that was his words. And this was a man that paid Joe in the ROH title belt the ultimate disrespect last night by spitting on it.
Not only did he spit on it, but everybody in the Rottweilers spat on it. And it's interesting that Low-Key talks about respect and how important it is respect is. Now respect's to be earned. It kind of reminds me, if I can use a basketball analogy, Bobby Knight always expects his players to be so disciplined, but Bobby Knight himself has no self-discipline. And it's the same way here. Low-Key is asking everyone to respect him and wants respect, demands respect, but won't show any respect to anybody or anything else. When you spit on the title belt, you're not just disrespecting Joe. You're disrespecting everyone that has held that championship, including Low-Key. You're disrespecting everyone that has challenged for that belt because of its importance. And you're disrespecting all the fans that have invested so much time, energy, and effort following the title and watching these matches.
Very well said, Mark. Loki is a hypocrite, and he's an asshole. It's that simple.
Can we say that one?
I can say whatever I want about Loki. If you were to ask me about Loki and say describe that man, I would say hypocrite and asshole. And that's a nice escape right there by Loki. I will give him credit. He is
Well, you also have to add talented.
Unfortunately, you do. He is that talented, and he knows it. He's faced right now, first time ever match against Mark Briscoe. Loki's first singles match since making a shocking return to ROH last week at League One completion. And there you hear the crowd totally into both men. And the thing about Loki, the fans chant his name.
Oh, Loki's going to take the down position.
Well, you know why he's doing that? Because the fans are chanting his name and he doesn't want to reward them by giving them any kind of action.
Well, this is kind of action if you like amateur wrestling. He's going to the down position, and Mark Briscoe is going to try to ride him. Mark Briscoe trying to press the advantage on top.
We have a budding war between the Briscoes and the Rottweilers. Mark took that fireball right in the face last week from Homicide.
And Loki thought he was going to be able to sit out and escape, and instead just has to flee the ring.
The old Loki used to stay and fight. You see that tattoo on his arm, it says to react. That might be Loki's problem. He reacts to everything. And he reacts in the wrong way. He reacts by spitting on belts. That was the same belt. He was in tears after he won that title. It was so emotional. One of the most emotional promos I've ever seen in my life. There was nothing like it, a crowning a champion. And now that same man is spitting on that belt. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely deplorable.
Well, Loki's going to intimidate a lot of professional wrestlers. One guy he will not intimidate is Mark Briscoe. I've seen the Briscoes win. I've seen the Briscoes lose. I've never seen the Briscoes back up.
The Briscoes will never back down from a fight. In fact, they're the kind of guys that go out looking for a fight. The Briscoes, they like to drink and they like to fight.
And it doesn't matter to the Briscoes whether they're challenging for the tag team championship, whether they're challenging Samoa Joe for the singles championship. And it's not much to remind the fans that both Mark and Jay had impressive showings against the ROH champion Samoa Joe. So they're not just tag team specialists. These are two men that have had success in singles competition.
You see Homicide at ringside. Jay, and what's this? The ref's distracted and Julius Smokes just pushed Mark off the top. What? This absolutely disgusts me.
Well, at some point, the Ring of Honor management is going to have to take control of the situation because Julius Smokes and the Rottweilers are now just interfering free. It's not even a question about, the Ring of Honor tradition or the Ring of Honor rules. They just don't care about anything, and they're just feeling. And Loki goes down favoring that knee. And I don't know, did he land? Is there a soft board in the ring?
I don't know, it could be. Loki doesn't go down easy. I mean, this is a guy who can really endure a lot of pain. So, I don't know, this is bad. And what's this? He just
threw the referee.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh yeah, you're real smart there, you freaking hypocrite. No respect for anything. He demands everyone to give him respect, yet he doesn't respect anything, not even the code of honor, which he helped build.
Has Loki lost confidence in his ability? Is this why he's doing this?
There's a lot of changes in Loki.
Big knee by Loki. No, that's going to have Mark Briscoe counting teeth.
Loki is a man. He would never use these tactics before. Of course, he did have his troubles with ROH management. And that's why you didn't see him in ROH for a while. He began focusing on his Japan career. He's now back in ROH. I wish he'd go back to Japan.
Well, at some point, it's up to management to take control of this situation. It's ridiculous to have 34 people around the ring every time one of the Rottweilers wrestles.
Mark Briscoe now taking punishment. Perhaps this is something the RH officials will have to address. There's really no controlling this Rottweilers group. They have no mercy. They have no soul. They have no heart. Man, woman, or child. They don't care what's in their path. They're going to destroy it. They proved that with Alice in Danger last night.
Yeah, you meant that literally. when Homicide hits Allison Danger with the cop kill.
Where Allison Danger is actually in the building tonight, believe it or not. Her neck is completely messed up. I don't have the official terms for what exactly is wrong with it, but she is in absolutely terrible shape. She basically has been lying down on the back the whole night. She's not able to even really move. So absolutely disgusting. Very
scary moment. Figure 4 head scissors. And again, I'm not a fan of the way Allison Danger's conducted herself over the last few months, but you don't want to see anybody paralyzed, and that was very scary last
For no reason either, Mark. Absolutely no reason.
Now, Low Key and Mark Briscoe trading kicks. Big European forearm uppercut. Mark Briscoe trying to fight back. If Low Key's looking for a fight, he came to the right place.
Jay Briscoe in the back preparing for his upcoming match with Homicide. So for some reason Homicide's out here at ringside. He wasn't supposed to be. He should be thinking about Jay Briscoe. That match is up next.
Boy, Rocky Romero has been a strong addition to the Rottweilers as well, hasn't he? He's looked very impressive over the last several weeks.
No doubt.
Suplex by Low Key.
Low Key very methodical.
Low Key's one of these guys that once he has the advantage is just relentless on pressing.
Oh! That could snap the ribs of Mark Briscoe.
And I promise you, Mark Briscoe at this moment is having a hard time breathing.
Low Key, and hold on, he's going for a cover. Very, very cocky. It's going to take a lot more than that to defeat Mark Briscoe.
And Low Key almost has to know.
Everyone at the Rexplex last week at Reborn Completion thought they were witnessing a special moment when Low Key surprised everyone with his shocking return, and then he ruined the moment, joined up with the Rottweilers, disrespected Samoa Joe, stood on Samoa Joe, held up the title and said the champ is here. Absolutely complete disrespect for the ROH World Champion, the man who has held that belt for 16 months.
And is this what this is about? Do you think that he's concerned that Samoa Joe has been such a great champion and this title reign is getting so much notoriety that Low Key's worried that his legacy is being erased?
You might have just hit the nail on the head. Low Key has been bitter ever since he lost that title. And he is just right now taking apart Mark Briscoe. And Mark better start mounting some offense sooner. This is going to be all over in a hurry. Low Key absolutely dominating with those vicious kicks. I used to proudly refer to Low Key as the ROH legend. Now I only say his name with shame.
And he's just getting cockier and cockier with these covers. It's just, that's not even, I don't even know what that is. Can we please put a muzzle on Julius Smokes? This man is Excedrin headache number 32.
Julius Smokes used to be all entertainment all the time. Now he's, I can't even describe what he's become now.
He's a pain in the ass.
That's exactly right. Look at him right in the ear of Mark Briscoe yelling at him. And Briscoe is really taking a beating in this one.
Well, Mark Briscoe, we've seen this guy take beatings before, and Mark Briscoe proving me right here as he tries to fight his way out of trouble. Drop kick by Low Key, and it's a beauty.
Briscoe's showing a lot of fight there, but Key cuts him off, and there's that cockiness of Low Key.
You might beat Mark Briscoe, but he won't quit on you.
And there you see the fans once again chanting for both men. As Key is just choking out Briscoe. And there's Julius Smokes getting a little shot in right there with the ref's back turn.
And it's divide and conquer time once again. As the referee admonishes Low Key, Julius Smokes takes the cheap shot.
The Rottweilers, the crew of destruction, the demon rose inside Homicide, and the rest followed suit. And look at Briscoe. Look at that look of intensity and anger on his face. Briscoe might have had enough.
Look how red Mark Briscoe's chest is.
That's what those devastating chops from Low Key will do for you.
Take him to school, Key. Take him to
Crotch
school.
hold left, body slam by Low Key, shakes the ring, and a cover. Gets a 2 count.
Paul Turner right on top of the action.
Boy, look at the pain on Mark Briscoe's face as he buries a couple of right hands in the midsection of Low Key. Forearm by Briscoe. Boot to the midsection. Here comes Mark Briscoe.
This could be a shot. Loki trying to shake it off, but he is staggered. Mark Briscoe, he proved it against Samoa Joe. He's not going to back down from anyone. And he can take the hardest hits and he'll fight right back.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe.
Oh,
What a vicious kick by Loki.
and Briscoe just crumbled. And he reaches the ropes to break up the pin attempt. I thought he might have been KO'd the way that he just crumbled there.
He wasn't KO. If he takes another one, he will be soon.
And Loki has to stop at those cocky covers. He really can't think he's going to get a victory by one of those.
Well, I'm not sure he's trying to even necessarily. I'm not sure victory is Loki's number one concern here. I think he's trying to send a message, and I think he's trying to punish Mark Briscoe.
And Mark has received that message, and he has words back for Loki. He is struggling to get to his feet. He is keeping that chin up, but Loki is just pummeling him down.
There's a lot of people that either would have been knocked out or people that would have quit the punishment that Mark Briscoe was taking. Give Mark Briscoe credit for continuing to battle.
And you also have to figure a spot in the contenders ring might be on the line in this match. A new contenders ring will be voted on after this weekend. Of course, that is how ROH determines its contenders. And there you see Briscoe now firing back at that leg lariat. This might be his opportunity to start mounting some offense. Can he hurt Loki? And those forearms are connecting.
You don't know how much energy that Mark Briscoe lost absorbing all that punishment. But right now, he's got the momentum. He needs to finish him off. Julius Smokes went for the leg, and fortunately missed.
And as a result, Mark was able to connect with that drop kick to the face of Loki. Oh, key out.
Reverse waist lock. Mark Briscoe brings him up.
Fisherman's Buster. And key might be out.
Mark Briscoe has battled his way all the way back into this match. Turns Key over. Hooks the leg.
Only a 2 count. This is Mark Briscoe's chance. He might want to start thinking about that cutthroat suplex. And just as I said it, yes, he's taking Key up. He's got him. If he hits it, it's over. Oh, Key going in the eyes. And aggressively follows in. And now he plants Mark.
Just all that force went right to the top of the head. You saw Mark Briscoe's neck fold. But somehow he kicks out. I don't know how.
You have to respect Mark Briscoe. And he's going for that dragon clutch. If he hooks this in, it's all over. Briscoe struggling to his feet. Yes, he fights out of it only to get shocked. Key misses. Briscoe scoops him up on his shoulders. Drops him backward. Beautifully done, and Loki's in pain. This could be Briscoe's opportunity. Kicks out.
Boy, it's so hard for Mark Briscoe to maintain those covers, considering all the punishment he's taken. And Mark Briscoe still may be struggling to breathe with those shots he's taken to the ribs and the back.
I think he's going for a German, but Key is blocking it. Modifies it to a roll-up. Tries to bridge, but Key catches him in that dragon clutch. Wow, that was nicely done by Loki. And Briscoe trying back elbows, and he snap bears his way out of it.
I'm shocked. Mark Briscoe gets out of the dragon clutch.
And he ducks the enziguri. German with a bridge. Oh, he wasn't able to hold on to go for the pinfall. There it is.
And that's the effect of the punishment that Mark Briscoe took on his ribs and neck earlier.
Yeah, it's a little too late right there to pin someone of the caliber of Loki. Loki is one of the best in the world. I will not deny him that. And it looks like he could be going for that cutthroat suplex again. He's trying to hoist Key up. He's got him. If he drops him down, it could be all over. Key struggling. And what's Julius Smokes doing? He just threw a chair into the ring.
And Loki's got the chair. The referee his attention's been diverted.
And Paul Turner, good eye, gets the chair out of there. And a cheap shot by Julius Smokes in the back of the head on Mark.
Loki follows up on the event. This isn't right.
Oh, and there's that patent kick to the side of the head. Mark might be knocked out. And now he's got that dragon clutch cinched in. Mark's trying to fight. Can he get out of it? He's tried. He's got the pain racing through his body. He could also lose consciousness. And he taps. Loki defeats Mark Briscoe. Let go of the hold, Loki. He's got to let go, and there it is. Oh, Loki should be proud of himself. He just gained a big victory. And Loki has won his first singles match back here in Ring of Honor. But he hasn't heard the last of the Briscoes or Samoa Joe.
As I said before, respect is either earned or taught, and you damn well did not earn my respect.
Match pitting the Briscoes against the Rottweilers. It's Homicide against Jay Briscoe. And you know Jay has to be angry after what just happened to his brother. I can't believe Loki's slapping him like that. Total disrespect. And Mark is making Homicide pay the price, or Jay's making Homicide pay the price right now.
Well, Homicide and Jay Briscoe, they just come out here to fight. Jay Briscoe has no pretenses. Jay Briscoe's gonna fly. Plancha over the top rope.
And things are going hot and heavy right after intermission. Of course, as we said earlier, no backstage promos on Death Before Dishonor weekends. That's why you haven't seen a different vibe, a different feel to the tapes. And it's going to happen all in the ring at Death Before Dishonor. And right now it's happening outside the ring on the floor. Pile driver tap, no. And a bruised and battered Homicide is backdropped on the floor. He is definitely sore and feeling the pain from last night's match against Samoa Joe.
Well, and Jay Briscoe, after watching that last match, knew that the Rottweilers weren't interested in wrestling. Knew that Homicide wasn't interested in shaking hands and being honorable. So Jay Briscoe was prepared for a fight, and so far these guys have been going even the whole time.
And Joyous Smokes, Low-Key, Roger Romero at ringside as always. Mark Briscoe, he wanted to be at ringside, but the doctors would not let him as he is having dizzy spells in the back right now, having a hard time standing up. Hopefully it'll pass.
Well, and make no mistake, Julius Smokes was the deciding factor in Loki's victory over Mark a few minutes ago.
No doubt about that. And Jay has been on offense, and he is just taking it to the 187 right now. Cover. Ref answer with a 2 count.
The longer this match goes, the better the opportunity is that Julius Smokes or one of the other Rottweilers will figure a way to get in a cheap shot.
Mark needs to start thinking about going for the J driller and get this thing over in a hurry, especially with Homicide's physical condition.
Well, and what about Homicide's mental condition as well? Because nothing's more important to him than that ROH title. But last night, he agreed was going to be his last title shot if he didn't win. And he ends up getting choked out by Samoa Joe. Snap suplex by Jay. Gets the Homicide gets the shoulder roll.
And this is a rematch of Survival, the fittest on June 24th. Homicide won that one, injuring the neck of Jay Briscoe, then stood over him in cocky fashion to shake his hand. Mark wouldn't take it anymore. He fought Homicide, and that's how the Briscoes issue with the Rottweilers started. Since that time, Mark has taken a fireball to the face from Homicide, and you know that Jay wants to avenge that right here.
So it'll be interesting to see where Homicide is both physically. You have to figure that Jay's coming in a little bit better shape, even though he had a tough match last night too, as he and his brother challenged CM Punk and Colt Cabana for those ROH tag team titles.
That was a very long and grueling match in itself.
But he didn't take anywhere near the physical battering that Homicide did. The longer this match goes, the more it's going to be in Jay's favor.
Homicide now choking out Briscoe in the corner. Ref Hansen calling for the break. Julius Smoke talking smack right into the air at Jay. Oh, and there's that running knee. That'll decapitate you. Homicide, no mercy. He is ruthless. He will kill and destroy anything in his path. Man, woman, or child. It does not matter to the notorious 187.
And Homicide only has one thing that he can shoot for now, and that's to injure as many wrestlers as possible. He no longer has to worry about getting disqualified and losing a shot at that ROH title.
The sadistic Homicide's going to be more dangerous than ever. You know, imagine just if he won that title at Reborn Stage 1 instead of snapping when he thought that he had it, only to have it taken away from him.
Has that net grapevine now while controlling the wrist.
That's a very painful hold, working on the arm. That'll tweak the shoulder and the elbow, as well as wrenching the neck. Jay Briscoe trying to inch his way to the ropes. Could be his only way out, and yes, he's got it. Homicide, he is in the Contenders ring, so Jay Briscoe, if he scores a win here, that could put him right into the Contenders ring and in line for either a pure title or world title shot. Of course, the Contenders ring is voted on by the ROH staff, and you have to be named on 75% of the ballots.
There's the cover by Homicide. Keep in mind that Homicide can wrestle. It's not that he's just a brawler. When he wants to be, when he's motivated to be, Homicide can be a very good technical wrestler.
Homicide can do it all. He can fly. He's great technical, strong style. He can fight. Anything that it takes, he can do. I'll give him credit there.
Except for one, and that's beat Samoa Joe.
Right about that. Homicide now going up. Jay's on his feet though, and Homicide gets caught on the top rope. Jay Briscoe, he's got him hooked, wraps a superplex. No, Homicide pushes him off.
Now Homicide wants to mount that top rope. Jay Briscoe not going to give Homicide an opportunity to fly. And Jay Briscoe, we keep talking about how tough those Briscoes are. You push them off the ropes, they climb right back on.
The Briscoes will never back down from a fight. That's their motto. And now Jay might have Homicide caught. He kept fighting, very resilient. And a big score for Jay Briscoe. Let's see if he can follow up. This Chicago crowd is loving it.
This Chicago crowd has been treated to a fabulous card tonight, and we still have more great matches to go after this. But right now, Jay Briscoe, if he can beat Homicide, he can lay claim to getting the shot at the Cabana Samoa Joe winner. CM Punk also wanting another title shot.
And we have a back and forth exchange of fists right here. Jay getting the upper hand. And you think maybe if Homicide didn't have that brutal match last night, he might have gotten the upper hand. And now Jay trying to take Homicide's head off just like Homicide did to him at Survival of the Fittest. Lands him with a Falcon Arrow. Only a 2 count.
Jay's frustration apparent there as he thought he had Homicide beat. Now Jay needs to quit arguing with the referee. You're never going to change the referee's mind. I've never understood why guys argue the count.
Jay has to start thinking about hitting that J driller. Homicide can hit the cop killer from any position, and that'll definitely put you down. Perhaps the most dangerous move in wrestling today.
Ask Allison Danger.
And the funny part is Allison Danger blames Muffin Whitmer for that, but that's another story for another time. That's what we got here.
Oh, I thought he got him. I thought he got him.
So did every fan in attendance here tonight.
He rolled his shoulder at the last possible instant. We see Rocky Romero down there at ringside. Rocky feeling good after a very impressive victory earlier tonight.
The Rottweilers should be feeling good. They're 2-0 despite Low-Key defeating Mark Briscoe under questionable circumstances. Who knows what would have happened if Julius Smokes didn't interfere. They might still be wrestling right now. Homicide, nope, stops himself. Oh, it slams Jay head first. And there's just a steel knob behind that padding, and Jay felt it. Nice traditional pile driver. Cover.
Boy, Homicide thought he had him. Now you've seen the frustration on Homicide's face.
Don't worry about it, Homicide. Just finish him off. Finish him off. Definitely.
And he's talking about hitting the cop killer. Jay needs to do whatever it takes to avoid it. And he's cinching the arms. He's taking them up. No, Jay shifts his weight, lands on his feet. And he's looking for the J Driller. J Driller. No. Homicide shifted his weight, came down on his feet. Two counts.
Homicide, again showing his frustration. It's a new sign of Homicide that we've seen over the last couple of months. Homicide would not argue with the referees on counts. He would just continue to follow up his advantage.
Well, this is definitely a different Homicide. Something has snapped inside his head. He does not have the same heart and soul he had before. It's definitely turned black. And here's an exchange of boots to the face, a Yakuza kick exchange, and Jay knocks down Homicide, and Homicide's pissed off.
Decapitates him with the clothesline.
Stan Hansen style, cover. Wow, Mark kicked out of the left-handed lariat. I can't believe it. The lariat puts everyone down. Jay Briscoe, how did he kick out of it?
Well, we've seen Homicide use the pile driver almost score a pinfall. And you're right, he just cracked him with that lariat. Couldn't get the pinfall there. Now Homicide has to start asking himself. He couldn't put Samoa Joe away.
He tried pulling Jay up by the ears. Jay might be out. Homicide might want to go for another pin here.
Yeah, if he's having that much trouble getting to his feet, just, shoot the half.
And he's just giving Jay time to recover here. And once again, he's drawing with the fans, and he pays the price right there. Jay played possum.
Jay's going to go up to the top ropes. Watch Julius Smokes in the corner on the right side of your screen.
Oh, the ref is distracted. The ref is distracted by Kean Romero, and Smokes grabs the leg. DQ him. And Homicide has Jay. Jay had this match in the bag. He might have been winning it. Oh, and that lariat decapitates him. And Julius Smokes gives the Rottweilers their second victory over the Briscoes. Deplorable. You better believe, though, the Briscoes are going to return for our fight.
greatest of all times. I'ma say it just like Ali did.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit, and it is for the Ring of Honor World Championship. It's Todd Sinclair. Introducing first the challenger to my left. He is currently one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Representing the Second City Saints. And his opponent in the corner to my right, he is the Ring of Honor World Champion, hailing from American Samoa at a weight of 270 pounds. This is Samoa Joe!
The fans showing their respect for Samoa Joe with streamers, but you better believe this Chicago crowd is going to be cheering for Colt Cabana of the Second City Saints, the Second City of Chicago. This is where Colt Cabana was born, raised, and currently resides, and he has his family and friends right here in attendance to watch him try to become the world champion.
Give Samoa Joe a lot of credit here, Jimmy. Samoa Joe's got enough juice as champion that he could have moved this title defense with Colt to another show in another city, but instead he's willing to concede Colt the home ring advantage.
Oh, look at that by Colt Cabana, mocking the streamers. Samoa Joe just kind of brushing it off.
It's kind of nice to see the handshake. It's been so long since I've actually seen the photo. Samoa Joe, you got to kind of wonder what's going through his mind after last night. He successfully defends the title against Homicide, but not only is he left laying, but he's got the Rottweilers disrespecting his belt to the ultimate level.
They stole his dignity last night, and they stole the dignity of the belt. But we've already talked about that. And I'll let you in on a little something about Samoa Joe, Mark Multi, that as you mentioned before, he could have took this time. And there, once again, Colt Cabana playing around, having some fun in there. You think he's trying to psych out the champ?
Yeah, Colt Cabana, how do I put this politely, marches to the beat of the tune. And, I think this is an effective strategy because you had Joe so intense and so violent in his last few title defenses. Now Colt comes in, just changes the tempo, for lack of a better term, and I'm not sure Samoa Joe's going to know how to react to it.
Well, as I was saying before, you mentioned about how Joe could have made this match in, let's say, Baltimore or Boston, where Cabana really wouldn't have the home field advantage like he does here. ROH officials before tonight's show gave Samoa Joe the opportunity, the chance to sit out tonight after what happened last night, because basically they want Joe 100% for his title match. It's not that it'll really ever be 100% after that 16-month title reign that he's had so far. And Joe refused to take the night off. He said, I'm here to defend the belt, and I'm going to give Colt Cabana his title shot. So you got to admire that, although it might not be the smartest thing from a bruised and battered champion.
Well, you got to admire Samoa Joe on a lot of different levels. Number one, not only has he held the title for 16 months, but he has defended against every top contender that has come down. Yeah, this is a legitimate 16 months, not a run and hide 16 months. Samoa Joe approaches each title defense almost like he's the challenger, like he has something to prove. For instance, going back to survival of the fittest, Samoa Joe's your ROH champion. What did he really have to prove by entering that?
Well, he had a lot to lose, obviously.
And you give Samoa Joe, I give Samoa Joe credit for taking this championship so seriously, for taking not only the belt itself seriously, but the prestige of the belt. It's important to Samoa Joe how the belt is thought of in the wrestling community.
Colt Cabana taking the champ off his feet. The Chicago crowd loving it and wrenches the neck of Samoa Joe.
Now Colt Cabana is just the type of guy that can give Samoa Joe all kinds of problems. Number one, Samoa Joe's not only beaten up physically after last night, but you got to kind of wonder where he is mentally right now. If part of his attention still might not be on the Rottweilers.
Well, Colt Cabana misses the butt button, pays the price.
Second, you've got to wonder if Colt Cabana, the strength of Colt Cabana, in my opinion, is ability to mat wrestle. If somebody's going to beat Samoa Joe, you can't sit there and trade with him. You've got to get him off his feet. I think you're going to get Samoa Joe with a quick cradle before you're going to knock him out.
Well, that's exactly what Colt Cabana did to surprise everyone when he pinned Samoa Joe for the 3 count at Survival of the Fittest with a sunset flip. And Colt Cabana has proved that he is a master of the roll-up, the master of the pinning combination, as he's gained several victories, and he's really trapped men to the point that they could not escape for 3 seconds. And if he does that here tonight, he will be the new world champion.
Let's go back to last night. Colt Cabana, this is his first shot at the ROH title, but also has a lot of championship experience over the last few months defending that ROH Tag Team Championship. Last night we saw the defense against the Briscoes, 2 out of 3 falls. Basically, Colt and Punk are down a fall. Punk is out of the match, hurt, and Cabana has to wrestle the second fall, already down a fall by himself, figures out a way to even the match and stay alive until CM gets back into the match.
And he used a pinning combination to do that. As he's going for the double knees and gets caught, Joe didn't get it the whole way, but enough to take Cabana off his feet and slam him down. Samoa Joe, he has made that belt a world title, brought it to Germany, Canada, England, defended it everywhere, and he's defended against all comers, whether it's Chris Daniels, AJ Styles, Paul London, and hold on!
There's the back cradle!
No, not quite enough. That 60-minute match against CM Punk, Joe proved he can go the limit. It doesn't matter who or what style, Homicide, he'll take on all challengers.
Samoa Joe wants this to be considered a world title, and he may take, like tonight, this may not, a lot of champions, a lot of wrestlers would have been taken the opportunity of given not to defend it. A, Samoa Joe didn't want to disappoint the fans. B, Samoa Joe respects Colt Cabana. Boy, and showed his respect by nearly decapitating him with that running knee.
Not only that, but Samoa Joe doesn't want to do anything so people can't say, oh, that belt isn't important, or no, it's not prestigious. Especially with Doug Williams with 2 successful pure title defenses this weekend. He doesn't want people seeing that the pure title was defended twice, but the world title was only defended once.
Yeah, and we've spoken to Joe before. Joe is a little bit disdainful of that pure wrestling title.
He's been distracted lately by the Rottweilers. In fact, he always has to keep an eye on the aisleway because you never know when the Rottweilers are going to be coming down because they have no respect for anything, especially this title match.
And well, if we're watching the aisle, let's also watch out for Generation Next, who Colt Cabana and CM Punk have made enemies of.
Joe catching Cabana with a couple of knees to the face there. And Cabana now, he's been absorbing some punishment. He has to start mounting some offense soon, especially against Samoa Joe in his weekend state. Cabana's got a good opportunity now to unleash a beating on the world champion and get the champion in a position where he can get his shoulders to the mat for a 3 count.
Well, so far, Joe's done a great job controlling the tempo. This has been a Samoa Joe style match. It's been on its feet, lots of high impact blows.
Like those slaps to the face, knock Cabana, and he is helpless on the top ropes.
Nobody trades with Samoa Joe and wins. write that down.
Don't forget, it only takes 3 seconds, and Colt Cabana is so good at securing that 3 seconds. But right now, the world champion is dominating.
Boy, what a nice Greco-Roman backdrop by Samoa Joe there.
Todd Sinclair with an eye on everything, making sure this match goes down fair and even. And so far, both men have been competing that way, as Joe puts in that chin lock while driving that knee into the upper back of Colt Cabana.
And another thing that Joe's done here, he's taken the crowd out of the match, because this crowd was just going nuts for Colt early, but since Samoa Joe has taken control, the crowd really hasn't had anything to cheer for.
Colt Cabana, last time in Chicago, he did not disappoint his hometown crowd, his family, as he became a tag team champion. Can he make it 2 for 2 in Chi-Town?
Looks like he wants to go for the half crab. Colt Cabana kicking his way out of it. Can't quite get Colt turned. There he goes.
Ooh. He is just twisting the body and the spine of Colt Cabana right now.
What we saw last night is evidence that Colt Cabana can wrestle from behind. But if he doesn't get to the ropes here, this could be an awfully quick title defense.
And the fans urged him on, and Cabana made the ropes.
Because right now, the home team's getting routed.
Samoa Joe acting like he's the Yankees, and Colt Cabana is the Cubs. Although different leagues.
Well, more like, the Colt Cabana. Right, this year it's like Colt Cabana's the Diamondbacks. Boy, Colt Cabana's just taking a beating. And you kind of wonder if Samoa Joe isn't seeing Homicide or Julius Smokes or Low-Key when he looks at Colt Cabana right now, if he isn't taking some frustrations out on Colt.
Well, Samoa Joe, he has to be distracted after what happened last night. I mean, now it's just the biggest sign of disrespect I've ever seen. But right now, he's obviously focused on Colt Cabana and leaving Chicago as world champion. He wants to enter his 17th month as ROH world champion. And there's Cabana firing back.
Colt Cabana knows how to wrestle from behind.
And he is right now, as keeps firing back, and there's a series of lefts. He's got the champion staggered a little bit. Can he follow up with the big one?
Catches him with the full Nelson. Can't get the fingers locked. Nice escape by Cabana.
Oh, he just rung Joe's bell.
That's that classic European counter to the full Nelson by Cabana. Here comes Cabana, flying double knee to the chest. Staggers the champion. Cabana trying to get his second win. Hooks the leg, crotch hold, and drops him straight down.
Hey, Cabana, what's he calling for?
He better get it into it quickly. Joe's getting a lot of time to rest.
He's calling for that beautiful moonsault. He's got Joe in a prone position. No, Joe's playing possum. And that might be it for the home team, Mark Colby.
I think I saw a kid interfere with a foul ball. Moises Alou was going to catch Colt Cabana to keep him from hitting the floor.
And let's see if Colt Cabana can recover from that. He is down in the aisleway. Oh, Joe is just kicking him. Those short kicks right to the side of the face.
Low-key would take exception to this, but I still say Samoa Joe is the most violent striker in all of ROH.
And he just sends Cabana into that steel. And he's gone for a lay time. The fans love Colt Cabana, but they also love Samoa Joe. We have a split crowd here, and they love the ole kick.
Whoever said that didn't pull Colt Cabana.
And if Joe nails this, this might be the final shot that Cabana can take.
The orchestra's warming up.
And Cabana blocked it with that chair, and now he hits Joe. And Colt Cabana's turning the tables on the world champion. And now this crowd's picking up even more. And the Chicago crowd is going nuts as Colt Cabana turns the tables on Samoa Joe.
I have never seen anybody counter the Ole Ole kick, and I have never seen anybody deliver the indignity of hitting Samoa Joe with his own patented move.
Colt Cabana has to get Joe in the ring and follow up in a hurry. He can't waste time on the floor right now.
I think Colt Cabana is still reeling from that punishment he took throughout the body of this match.
Definitely there's some cobwebs in his head, but he's feeling the crowd right now. He's showing a little spring in his step once again. Let's see if he can follow up with something. No, a reversal by Joe. Oh, kicks him, blocking the backdrop attempt. Perfect power slam.
Cabana kicks out.
Wow, what quickness by Joe.
Boy, decapitates him.
Cover! Somehow Colt Cabana kicks out.
Well, we saw it yesterday. Colt Cabana had no right to survive as long as he did against both Briscoe brothers in that second fall, down a fall, but kept his wits about him, made the one big move to turn that whole match around.
Let's see if he can do it again tonight. Let's see if he can create some magic tonight. As Joe whipping him corner to corner. Back elbow by Cabana. The battered world champion moves in and gets slammed for his trouble.
Not the most pretty body slam you're ever going to see, but it was effective. Dropped him right on the shoulder.
And Cabana is signaling for the frog splash. This is a big man frog splash. No, Joe moves, but Cabana lands on his feet. Back suplex on the champion. The world champ is down.
He's going to hook the near leg, and no, Samoa Joe rolls the shoulder. But Cabana's starting to feel it a little bit.
He popped right back up.
Frog splash! We have a new no!
And Joe's in a lot of trouble. I can't believe he kicked out of that frog splash. Cabana has to follow up.
I think that frog splash takes as much out of the guy delivering it sometimes as the guy that gets hit with it.
Here comes Cabana, up and over. Sunset flip! Oh no, he didn't quite get it the right way, but towards an STF.
He's got him locked up in the middle of the ring.
He's taking another page out of Samoa Joe's playbook. The STF, it wrenches the knee, it twists the neck, it torques your torso.
He can't quite get it hooked underneath the chin. Can't quite get it, trying to get it locked underneath the chin. Samoa Joe continues to turn the head. Now he's got it. He does have it locked in, but now Samoa Joe's turned his body that he doesn't have the leg grapevine all the way.
And he reached the ropes. The world champion with his last ounce of strength and energy reaches the ropes.
Boy, that's two moves that Colt Cabana has taken out of Samoa Joe's arsenal. You think Colt Cabana scouted this match a little bit?
Definitely had a game plan in. He's trying to think of his next move right now. He should stop worrying about his Chicago hometown crowd and go for the pin. Oh, it's Colt 45. He hasn't pulled this out in a long time. Joe might be too big. Joe gets out of it. Oh, there are those quick fists with slaps and punches. And an Injiguri catches Cabana right in the tip of the forehead. Another one to the back of the head.
You know, it should be illegal to be that big and be able to do two standing Injiguris.
Joke! He's trying to cinch it in. He's trying to cinch in the choke. And Cabana's got a pinfall.
Oh. Look at Cabana create distance. And Samoa Joe closes that distance with a clothesline.
And Cabana just barely kicks out. I thought Cabana had it with that pinning combination. This crowd in Chicago thought Cabana had it with that pinning combination.
Now, these are two big men that have wrestled a very quick-paced match, and you're starting to see both these chests heave. Conditioning starting to become a factor.
Both men struggle to their feet.
This is where the crowd will give Cabana an advantage. He will be able to feed off their adrenaline.
Oh, Joe picking his spot, slapping Cabana, another blow to the face. And Cabana stops him with a boot. Takes the champion out. Cabana now coming up. Oh, Joe levels him with another blow to the head. That forearm, and hold on. He's got him cinched for the muscle buster. He connects. And that's it. Colt Cabana could not survive the muscle buster. The world champion Samoa Joe is going to enter his 17th month as champion.
What a fine effort by Colt Cabana, and more importantly, Samoa Joe against all odds. Oh, here come the Rottweilers.
Oh, they are ruining another Samoa Joe post-match celebration. This crowd in Chicago on their feet showing their appreciation for this match. And there's the Rottweilers. And it's Homicide, Rocky Romero, Loki. They're setting Joe up for something. Julius smokes. And it's the Briscoes with chairs. The Briscoes are back and they run off the Rottweilers.
I think the Briscoes have had enough of low-key Julius Smokes, Homicide, and company.
Not only that, last night there was no backup for Samoa Joe. Tonight, Samoa Joe one step ahead of the game, making sure the Briscoes are there for backup. And what backup the Briscoes are, as the Rottweilers are left scrambling from the ring.
Suck, baby! All it sucks.
And there you see the Briscoes stalking the Rottweilers, challenging them to come back into the ring.
Briscoes, two guys that are crazy enough to actually want to fight the Rottweilers.
And look who's up, and look who's standing on the ropes over the Rottweilers with the ROH World title. It's our champion, Samoa Joe. This war has just begun. It's main event time of Death Before Dishonor weekend. A non-sanctioned Chicago street fight. The final chapter of this feud. CM Punk and Ace Steel against Dan Moff and BJ Whitmer. Allison Danger coming to the ring before the match, proclaiming her hate for both teams, blaming Moff and Whitmer for the fact that she got the cop killer last night and bringing out these weapons of destruction. She wants to see these four destroy each other.
She might get her wish. This is going to be violent.
There's so much hatred, so much intensity here. This match is actually almost a year in the making. It all started on August 9th, 2003 at Wrath of the Racket when Lucy, who was a member of the Second City Saints at the time, was taken out. She disappeared from ROH. CM Punk spent the rest of the year trying to find out who did it. As now we're underway, at Final Battle 2003, it was revealed that BJ Whitmer was the man who did it, as he joined the Prophecy, much to the chagrin of Dan Moff. The war started. It saw the leader of the Prophecy, Christopher Daniels, taken out January 10th at that epic six-man at Battle Lines Are Drawn. Since that time, the war was waged at show after show between these four, including Colt Cabana. And then finally, Moff and Whitmer, they separated from Allison Danger, said they did not want to be part of the Prophecy anymore. They wanted to be on their own. Allison Danger, having trouble accepting that fact, has gone crazy, is completely delusional. And now it is finally time for the final chapter. We've seen these guys crawl 20 feet into the air. We've seen them use weapons on each other. We've seen blood spilled. We've seen tables broken. And now finally we're going to have a winner in the Moff and Whitmer versus Second City Saints feud.
What, are you scared?
We've had winners before, but what we may have here that's going to be different is we may see somebody not being able to wrestle anymore.
Ace Steel mocking Moff and Whitmer with that Hillbilly Jesus t-shirt. That's a nickname some people on the internet make fun of BJ Whitmer and call him. Moff and Whitmer, though, right now, they are just trying to get their way into the ring. We have not seen barbed wire in ROH since War the Wire on Thanksgiving weekend when Homicide and Steve Corino battled in that no-rope barbed wire match. But Allison Danger is brought in at ringside so these men can rip each other's flesh, bleed, and try to maim each other. There could be somebody, or actually I should say could be, somebody will be leaving this match with permanent scars.
And probably more than one. There's more than likely all four people will be leaving this with permanent scars.
Moff and Whitmer won the East Coast Final Chapter last weekend, Reborn completion in that Wild Foul Scout Anywhere match. Let's see what happens right now, as these two teams will be done fighting each other for good. And there's Whitmer, the man who took out Lucy, against CM Punk. Ace Steel battling with Dan Moff. The fight's on the floor. I guess you can't expect a match like this to stay in the ring. There's no telling where it'll end up.
Well, if I was a betting man, I would bet we spend more time on the floor than we spend in the ring. And still on the floor, those weapons of destruction. Now Moff has got Ace Steel locked up. Whitmer's going to come from Iowa. We'll see our first double team of the day.
Allison Danger has stayed in the back of the building to watch this match. She wants to see these guys kill each other. And she's so delusional. Even last night she was asking for the Prophecy, for Moff and Whitmer to come back to the Prophecy. I mean, she just doesn't get it. They want to be on their own.
And they've earned that right. They don't owe her anything.
You're right about that. They do not owe her a thing. And Moff right now pummeling Ace Steel.
CM Punk traps BJ Whitmer and takes him into the guardrail and the ladder.
When you really look at it, this goes back to Epic Encounter, April 12th of 2003, when CM Punk gave BJ Whitmer a German suplex from the ring through a table on the floor, and that kind of started the beginning of the Punk-Whitmer rivalry, but it wasn't known that Whitmer was involved until Final Battle. As there you see a little throwback to Dusty Rhodes right there.
A little clever, if you will.
As Punk and Steel are in control in their hometown in front of their family and friends.
Well, of course, the Second City Saints, straight arrow, no drugs, no alcohol, which means no painkillers after this match. And I think they're going to need some. Catches BJ Whitmer, suplexes him through the mat. Ace Steel waiting on him.
Whitmer sent to the floor. in this building on their feet. I don't expect this match to be long. I expect it to be quick and bloody. And CM Punk ascends to the top and sails with a crossbody on Moff. Oh, and there's the first use of foreign objects in this match as Ace Steel going for a plancha and he takes a chair. And now Punk gets a steel chair on the head.
And we may have just delivered double concussions to the Second City Saints.
Moff and Whitmer in control. You know they'd love nothing more than to win this feud in the Saints' hometown of Chicago.
Boy, how embarrassing would that be for the Saints?
So much on the line in this one. So much pride, so much anger. Moff exhibiting it right there, unleashing that big right hand on Ace Steel. Last time it was in Chicago was BJ Whitmer defeating Ace Steel. And then trying to ruin the post-match victory celebration by the Saints when they won the tag titles, but he paid the price, as now you see Ace is busted open.
Well, and I think that Punk is busted open thanks to Whitmer's teeth. I think he bit his forehead open.
The Crimson is flowing in Chi-Town.
And we knew it would. I think both teams came prepared to bleed.
As I said before, some of these guys, if not all of them, are going to leave this match with permanent scars.
And Ace Steel may have a concussion as he just got brutalized with that chair earlier.
I'll tell you what, Punk and Ace better start mounting some offense too, because there's only so much of a beating you can take from Moff and Whitmer.
Well, when you lose blood, you lose energy. And keep in mind the cut for Steel looks to be over the left eye. And that's now, so not only are they losing blood, oh, now they're going to bring their own weapons into the ring. They're going to strap the Saints. They are laying them open with those belts.
Anything goes in this one. It takes a pinfall to win it, but until that pinfall happens, anything goes. And there's a busted open Punk getting whipped. Ace Steel getting choked now by the hard-hitting BJ Whitmer.
Clotheslines him with the belt. We've seen CM Punk in so many brutal battles before. Jimmy, have you ever seen Punk in a feud more vicious than this feud?
This feud is legendary. It is historic. Of course, most people think of the Raven feud when they think of CM Punk, but this one surpassed the violence and brutality of the Raven feud.
I was thinking the same thing. I saw the Raven feud. I think this one's more violent. Right now, it's certainly more gory. And as he chokes him, what that's doing is that's causing the blood to squirt out of that cut, as disgusting as that sounds.
Both teams in this feud have had their ups and downs. They both had their big victories. They both suffered their losses. But this is the very last one, so the winner will get bragging rights forever.
Well, and the losers may be out of professional wrestling when this is over.
Hey, the winners might be out of professional wrestling after this one's over.
Yeah, that's true too. CM Punk catches him with the boot. I think Punk got that boot up in defense. As that blood's flowing in the eyes, it's another disadvantage. It's going to make it harder for these guys to see. It's going to completely cut off the peripheral vision.
And everyone on their feet, you have to be here live to experience an atmosphere like this. ROHWrestling.com, 215-781-2500 for all your details. I'm supposed to pay the bills now in an ad, but I can't get away from the action to do that.
Clotheslines him with the belt. Steel brings Whitmer to the match. Moff staggers into the corner. Steel follows up, mounts the ropes. I really don't like mounting the ropes to deliver punishment, but Steel keeping Moff close to the body and delivers the damage.
At this point, the Second City Saints have to do whatever it takes to mount some offense as they were taking a beating for a while.
I see Whitmer, that left eye's puffy. Now Whitmer off the ropes. Flying back elbow. A running back elbow, rather. Now Moff to the floor. And as this match escalates, you know the violence is going to escalate, and so are going to be the use of weapons.
We saw the brawl during the At Our Best show, a no contest. The Fighting Philly at Generation Next for the tag titles. One match after another. Colt Cabana against BJ Whitmer at Reborn Stage 1. And look, they're near that barbed wire board.
That bicycle rack doesn't help much either.
And Whitmer's got a table. We're already seeing a table in play in this one. How much longer can it possibly go?
I just hope they stay away from the barbed wire, honest to God.
It's just so dangerous when barbed wire is used.
Not that the ladder is safe either, or slamming somebody through a table is safe either, but of course if you knock him out hitting his head into the guardrail, that would just make the whole thing rather moot.
What's Punk doing? This one's going into the crowd perhaps.
Whitmer choking him out with that tape. Oh, Whitmer saving Moff from being choked out with that shirt and tape.
And Punk is deep in the crowd.
Here comes CM Punk over the guardrail. And he just wipes out Dan Moff.
And the hometown crowd is loving it. As I believe BJ Whitmer's busted open.
I think CM Punk's one of these guys that gets excited when he bleeds. I think that actually increases his adrenaline.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, neither of these four men are scared of a little blood, but we're beginning to see a lot of it in this match. As Punk is introducing the ladder into the match.
Well, we may have a few transfusions when this night is over.
I'm sorry, Whitmer is not busted open yet. There's some blood on him, perhaps from Ace Steel or CM Punk.
Well, no, but I did see there is some puffiness over the eye of Whitmer. He is not cut open yet, but it's coming.
And Dan Moff is in a really bad spot right now.
Ace Steel getting the momentum. Drop kicks the chair right in his face. That probably has broken Dan Moff's nose.
And Moff might be knocked out. These guys might want to think about going for a pin. You really don't want a match like this to go that long. I mean, this is the kind of match that shortens careers.
Yeah, but I don't think either one of these teams wants to just beat the other. I think they want to deliver a lot of punishment.
And they're doing that right now. Uh-oh. This does not look good for Dan Moff.
Because you're right, they could have beaten Moff if they wanted to. I think they want to try to grip him. Oh my God.
And that'll do it. Wow, innovative use of the ladder. Painful for Dan Moff as he just goes to the floor.
The referee is just an accountant for this match. All he's there to do is count to 3.
Non-sanctioned ROH said, hey, we're going to let you guys settle the feud, but we're not sanctioning the match. You guys got to do it on your own.
ROH does not want liability for the injuries that incur and maybe the careers that end.
As a face wash and running boot scrape by CM Punk on BJ Whitmer.
Now, Punk and Steel are cut open, but I think the cuts are starting to coagulate. I don't see any new blood on the faces, and that's good for both of them.
They are definitely at the advantage now. Moff and Whitmer were dominating earlier. Now, and there's Dan Moff. He is busted wide open.
Well, you knew he had to be after getting pasted with that chair and that ladder.
And what are they doing to BJ Whitmer now?
I'm not even sure I want to know. It's not going to be good. They're going to try to decapitate him.
I think they are.
They're going to guillotine him with that chair and that table.
This might go too far.
They're going to break his neck.
They're going to take his life. And Punk's got the ladder. What could they possibly be?
And Dan Moff is down on the floor in a pool of his own blood. Oh my God, they're going to kill him.
The Second City Saints absolutely dominating.
I am just glad to see BJ Whitmer is moving.
And at this point, oh, look at BJ Whitmer. He is pouring blood. It's coming out of him like water from a faucet.
I'm just glad they didn't snap his vertebrae.
Who knows how he'll be feeling tomorrow. And there's that strap. The belt, that leather against the flesh.
You bring up a good point. Sometimes there have been matches before where guys have got their neck broken and didn't find out about it until the next day.
Bruno Sammartino, one of the famous cases, as Ace Steel on the outside driving that belt buckle right into the forehead of Dan Moff, busting him open even more. But BJ Whitmer is really a mess.
Because this is a non-sanctioned match, the referee does not have the option of stopping it.
It's got to go on until there's a 3 count.
Under any normal circumstances, any civilized human being would... Oh my God.
And there's that barbed wire 2x4 that Allison Danger had brought to ringside. What's Punk gonna do? Oh, right into the arm with that razor sharp barbed wire. Oh, Moff gets torn with that barbed wire.
This match is actually more brutal than I expected. And I expected violence.
Well, BJ Whitmer, his flesh on his arm has been torn open. He is now bleeding from the arm. He's probably going to need stitches. And Punk, he's still looking to do more damage with that barbed wire 2x4.
Please just pin him.
Oh, Moff saves himself with a low blow. And what's Whitmer doing? Desperation.
Russian leg sweep while choking him with a barbed wire. And I think he caught the barbed wire in his face. He gouged his face with a barbed wire on that Russian leg sweep.
That's a receipt for his arm. BJ Whitmer's arm has been torn open. Oh, no, no.
But did you see Dan Moff? Before he did that, he licked the board. He licked the blood on the board before he delivered a crotch shot with the barbed wire.
What a sicko. And the crowd agrees with that chant that I can't repeat. And Dan Moff, he told me once he loves to hear that chant. And they're going to try to do the same to Ace Steel. What do you think Ace Steel's wife is thinking watching this in the crowd right now?
Just buries him right into the groin.
And you notice no one has gone for the victory yet. They're just trying to inflict pain on each other.
I saw the Raven CM Punk matches. I know how violent these matches can be, how brutal these matches can be. This has raised the bar, Jimmy.
This is one of the most bloodthirsty, sadistic matches I've ever seen in my life, and perhaps the most brutal, bloodthirsty match I've ever seen in ROH, and it's not even close to over yet, as Dan Moff is going to introduce the barbed wire board. You have to ask yourself, what isn't enough?
CM Punk, I think CM Punk saw that, and it increases the... Oh, no, he's going to suplex him on it. Oh,
no. Oh, Punk. Yeah, Punk blocks it.
Oh, no, 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 not the bare back.
BJ Whitmer blocks it. And now, thankfully, they're away from that board. As much as I want to see these guys settle a feud, I don't need to see anyone going in a barbed wire like that.
Not a superplex into the barbed wire.
Oh. I don't even know if I can watch this anymore. Punk going for the swinging DDT is flung face first into that barbed wire, and he is tangled up in it. No, Whitmer's going for an exploder into the barbed wire. Ace Steel saves him. You know, I didn't think anything could get more brutal than War of the Wire, but this is surpassing it right now.
He's trying to suplex him into it. Dan Moff moves the table, thankfully.
Moff saves his partner. Only when you have a feud over a year in the making like this one will you see a conclusion like this.
Get back in there.
Now Dan Moff, we saw how sick and demented he was a few moments ago.
And he's setting that board up in the corner at an angle.
CM Punk is out on his feet. Look at CM Punk's body. It is literally drenched with blood.
I believe Punk, it looks like he suffered some... Oh, hold on! I thought I was going to say he suffered some cuts on his body, but whoever goes into that board is going to suffer more. Moff takes it with the hand, and he's staggered. Whitmer cuts him off. That might have been the death blow by CM Punk on Dan Moff.
You can see the blood underneath the arms and on the ribs of Punk.
razor sharp, puncturing the flesh of CM Punk all over his body.
And he's tangled up in it. This is going to do as much damage getting him out of the barbed wire as it did putting him into the barbed wire.
This is going to cause permanent scars. All four men feeling the effects of this war.
Somebody stop this.
I don't even know what they could do next. Let's say still. Oh, he's setting up the remnants of that board. I think he wants to send Moff into it.
Now it's Moff tangled up in the barbed wire. Now Ace Steel, I don't know if you've ever been tangled up in barbed wire before, Jimmy, but it actually does more damage getting the barbed wire off of you than it did when you went into the barbed wire.
Well, I try not to get tangled up in it, as I saw some puncture wounds on the shoulder of Dan Moff.
How does Moff kick out of that?
Now is, I believe, the first pinfall attempt. Ace Steel might have had enough. He wants to get this one over with in his hometown.
BJ Whitmer back on his feet. Now he enters the ring.
And all four men are armed with chairs. And we have a standoff. And Punk's telling him to hit him.
Boy, do they get their wish.
These guys are crazy.
If they didn't have concussions before this, they do now. Dented that chair. He made an imprint of Dan Moff's forehead in that chair.
These guys are crazy. They're letting each other hit them. This is like a tough man slugfest. Moff and Whitmer firing themselves up. Who's the toughest? And they still broke the chair over the head of BJ Whitmer. All four men are down.
This may be it. This may be the end of it right here. All four men may just collapse in a pool of blood. Dan Moff is walked. Well, there he goes down. Not even Dan Moff's that tough.
This crowd in a frenzy, and they're going for more chairs.
How are Whitmer and Moff even standing, let alone functioning?
And hold on, we got a situation. The fans are throwing chairs. We have a riot in Chicago. This is insane. Watch your head mark.
I'm calling this from under the table. You tell me what happens. I think the referee just cut me here.
We are seeing something special here. As all four men are trying to fight on that sea of chairs.
Yeah, nobody has any balance here. I can't imagine anybody in the ring in good shape. You got to figure whoever gets the next big shot.
Half Nelson suplex and Punk takes it. These men have no regard for their well-being.
How are they still standing?
These fans in Chicago are seeing something they'll never forget. This is what happens when feuds explode in Ring of Honor.
I can honestly tell you I've never seen anything like this.
How can the ref even make a 3 count? That ring is absolutely littered with chairs. Everyone's standing because they have to. There's barbed wire, there's tables, there's ladders, there's chairs.
Whitmer and Punk desperately trying to catch their breath.
I think they're trying to figure out how they can stand up to hit the next move. Gary Moore trying to clean the ring. Good luck to him. As now we have the ladder with Moff and Steele on the floor.
Boy, they better get these fans back.
This is wild. This is absolutely crazy. You gotta be here live. And what are they? Moff setting up the ladder. Dumps a Steele on it. What could he be setting up here?
That ladder's starting. Oh my! No!
What's BJ Whitmer doing? Whitmer jumped on that pile of chairs from the top rope. And Moff takes the ladder right to the face. Let's see Ace Steele. He's got Moff on the outside. CM Punk is signaling for something.
Now Ace Steele's going to plant Moff on the ladder.
CM Punk's going up.
I think Punk must have just knocked himself out.
And Dan Moff. Moff and Punk, they're going to be non-factors, I think. Ace Steele now going into the ring on a bruised and battered BJ Whitmer. As if we haven't seen enough, Ace Steele is going for that table. And he connects with that chair across the head, the cranium of BJ Whitmer, and he's put him on that table now.
How much more blood can these guys lose and still stay upright?
What does Ace Steele have in mind? No, Whitmer to his feet somehow. This is what happens when you have a year's worth of hatred. And no, an exploder. Oh, Ace Steele blocks it. Death before Dishonor is the right name for a match like this to be taking place on.
And we may...
And hold on, Ace, he catches Whitmer. He's got him. Dangerous! And the Saints win the feud. Ace Steele with the tombstone from the top rope through that table of BJ Whitmer gives a victory to the Second City Saints. This match is going to go down as legendary. Death Before Dishonor weekend has concluded. And what a weekend we witnessed. Milwaukee, Chicago. You'll never forget it. And that's the look of a man that just went through a war. What an experience this weekend was. Death Before Dishonor, parts 1 and 2. We saw it all.
Jimmy, honest to God, I have never called anything like this before.
Whoa, what's this? Generation Next!
Oh, what the hell?
We are having a huge victory celebration in Chicago again, just like the first show here. And now we have Roderick Strong, Jack Evans, Austin Aries, and Alex Shelley. They are jumping the Saints. The weekend began with Generation Next trying to attack Baron Von Raschke and the Saints running them off. Now the weekend is ending with Generation Next putting the boots to the Saints.
Yeah, real brave, guys. to go in there after the most brutal match in ROH history and attack Punk and Ace. Why not challenge him to a match if you guys think you're so tough?
It started last week in New Jersey, and Punk's fighting back. And here's Colt Cabana. He's here to save his partners. Colt Cabana, but once again, Generation Next playing the numbers game. Generation Next ruining the victory celebration. And you hear the name the crowd is calling. They want Ricky Steamboat. Will he repay the favor from Punk from last week? What? And the Dragon is here. And the Dragon is evening the odds once again.
Austin Aries now leading the charge. It looks like we're going to have a 4-on-1 beatdown of Ricky Steamboat. Steamboat desperately trying to fight him off.
4-on-1 is just too much.
Steel and Punk, after going through what they've gone through, are almost defenseless.
And no, Punk showing some fight. This is all on instinct right now, and he is quickly cut off, though. Ace Steel now showing some fight, and he gets cut off. Generation Next always has the numbers advantage.
Well, the scary thing is that barbed wire is still in the ring.
And what's Generation Next doing to Steamboat? They're taping him to the ropes. They are taping the Hall of Famer, the legendary Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, to the ropes. Jack Evans working on Punk.
Punk trying to find.
And why are they wearing those stupid gloves? Generation Next making a statement.
Now Alex Shelley wants the microphone.
Not again.
You have a front row seat to the demise of the Second City Saints. And all you people have a goddamn ticket. We know where we are. The Second City Saints. Their time is coming on. We are the future. Accept it. Accept us.
Generation Next is making Steamboat watch this beatdown on the Second City Saints. Generation Next is making a statement. Death Before Dishonor weekend is ending with Generation Next showing that they are the future of ROH.
This is cowardly. I don't know another word for it but this.
I've seen enough. For Mark Nolte, I'm Jimmy Bauer. John Colt Cabana's fighting back. But he is taken down.
It's 4-on-1.
And look, Steamboat is being humiliated as he has to watch this. They are embarrassing the former NWA World Champion. And Punk's not going to watch him degrade the legend.
Ace Steel back up.
Neither is Ace Steel, but it's those chairs. They can't get their footing.
Well, not only that, they've lost so much blood. They took so much punishment. They finished that match on pure adrenaline, and then the adrenaline rush subsides, and here comes Generation Next.
What's going to happen in Philadelphia? What's going to happen in Boston? What's going to happen in Elizabeth, New Jersey, outside of New York City on 9/11 when Mick Foley arrives? What's going to happen next? Dayton. All the shows are coming up. The return to Chicago. The Generation Next versus Second City feud is here. Generation Next has made their statement.